Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for TWiT Specials is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com. This is TWiT Live Special number 325, recorded Tuesday, September 12th, 2017. iPhone 10. TWiT Live Specials are brought to you by Rocket Mortgage from Quicken Loans. Home plays a big role in your life. That's why Quicken Loans created Rocket Mortgage. It lets you apply simply and understand the entire mortgage process fully so you can be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. Get started at rocketmortgage.com/twit. Welcome once again to a 10th annual event here in our TWiT studios, the Apple iPhone unveiling. Leo Laporte here with me, Megan Maroney from iOS Today and TNT. Hi, Megan.
Hello, Leo. I'm so excited to hear about all the things we already know about.
and also Mr. Alex Lindsay from the Pixel Corps. Welcome. Good to have you as well.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
I really like the tie.
I do, too.
I thought I'd dress up a little bit for the occasion. I'm wearing a bow tie.
I feel very underdressed now.
What we do, if you're new to our coverage of these kinds of events, is we stream the event. Apple is streaming it. I don't have to stream it from my laptop today. So we will bring up the stream, and we'll show the stream, and we will kind of in a Mystery Science 3000 fashion comment on it as it goes. If you are looking for the pure live stream, you can go to apple.com and get it there. You do, I think, have to have, oddly enough, either an Apple device running Safari or Microsoft Windows 10 running Edge. Those are you can't do it on Chrome. We also are excited because it's the first time we've been in the new Steve Jobs theater and the Apple campus, Apple Park. And so we're looking at tweets.
Is Renee there?
He is.
Renee is there.
Oh,
So
we're going to get a
Renee's
first.
there.
We're going to be able to get a breakdown of what the new
And they're playing the
experience is.
music. We should thank our sponsor for these live streams, Rocket Mortgage from Quicken Loans. Home plays a big role in your life. That's why Quicken Loans created Rocket Mortgage. It lets you apply simply and understand the entire mortgage process fully so you can be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. Get started at rocketmortgage.com/twit. So, you're right, Megan. We know everything, or do we?
Well, we don't know. There are knowns and there are unknowns, and there are
knowns
unknowns
that we don't know.
knowns.
Yeah.
But I'm still excited. We don't know exactly. There's been a lot of leaks.
Let's show the stream while we're talking because they're showing a beautiful view, probably from drone footage shot by Duncan Sinfield. Look how beautifully lit that is. Oh, and they're playing the Beatles. This is a tribute to Steve Jobs, of course, who was a huge Beatles fan and lobbied very hard to get the Beatles on iTunes. They refused electronic distribution for a long time. And by the way, this must have cost Apple a lot of money for the rights to this, right?
Yeah.
What is that? Does that look beautiful?
I mean, you just look at the registration of all of that. I mean, it's just they did all the hard things you can do in architecture and made
The
it work.
largest carbon fiber roof in the world. It was put together like a pie. You can see the pieces of the pie, the segments assembled, and then floated via helicopter onto that glass wall. Famous curved glass Steve Jobs loved so much. 2 escalators down the theater, the 1,000-seat Steve Jobs Theater is down. Well, I guess we're going to get to go down, not escalators, but stairs, and see for the first time the interior. We've seen pictures somebody leaked out of the theater being prepared, but this is the first time we've seen it as it's supposed to look. One of the things I'll be watching for is the name of the phones. There was a leak, of course. Apple said the most damaging leak in its history. John Gruber said Apple was furious about it. Of the D22 firmware, the final Goldmaster iOS 11 firmware, that said that the phone would be, there'd be the iPhone 8, the iPhone 8 Plus, and the iPhone X or iPhone 10. I think that, I'm of the opinion that was disinformation, but we'll see.
Well, the X could have been a placeholder for the name, right?
I think they were trying to find a leaker, but we'll see. And now, of course, not probably live footage, but recent footage of journalists arriving. Is that Molly Wood? Can't tell from the back. See if you can recognize some of these people. Completely empty. I thought there'd be some registration tables in there or demo tables, but nothing. And I think it's beautiful. It's just wide open space inside the Steve Jobs Theater. 300. There's Nilay Patel. 350 journalists, according to the Environmental Impact Report. That means there'll be 650 Apple employees at this event. I think Apple's doing a big open. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. And as we come up at 9:59:50, I think they're counting it down exactly. Yep, there we are in the theater. Beautiful theater, stadium seating. Each seat cost $1.4 million. No,
Really?
I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Mike Murphy on Twitter said the seats were kind of hard. The leather felt a little stiff.
Well,
So-
it'll be worked in.
that's the bird,
I'm
yeah.
glad we're here and not there. These
I
seats are
actually
very
prefer to
comfortable.
have my nose against the glass peering in. We get to see all the details without having to deal with PR. Oh. I think a lot of these are, the red badges I think are Apple employees, the blue badges are media.
Courage, red badges.
Red badge of courage, that's right, Stephen Hart. Here we go. The 10th anniversary Apple iPhone announcement. And it's silent in the room because the audio disappeared. Is it actually? Oh, a little satie. Sounds like.
There's lots of ways to be as a person. And some people express their deep appreciation in different ways. But one of the ways that I believe people express their appreciation to the rest of humanity is to make something wonderful and put it out there. And you never meet the people, you never shake their hands, you never hear their story or tell yours, but somehow in the act of making something with a great deal of care and love, something's transmitted there. And it's a way of expressing to the rest of our species our deep appreciation. So we need to be true to who we are and remember what's really important to us. That's what's going to keep Apple, Apple, is if we keep us, us.
Tim Cook coming out on the stage now. In a sweater and jeans, kind of dressed down. And tennis shoes.
Thank you. I love hearing his voice and his inspiring message. And it was only fitting that Steve should open his theater. Thank you.
Somebody says he looks a little like
It
Mr.
is the
Rogers.
honor of a lifetime to be the first to welcome
That's
you to the
unconscious.
Steve Jobs Theater.
He's wearing a cardigan.
His hands are shaking a little bit.
Steve meant so much to me and so much
It's a pretty emotional
to all
moment.
of
Tim.
us. There's not a day that goes by that we don't think about him. Memories have especially come rushing back as we prepared for today and this event. It's taken some time, but we can now reflect on him with joy instead of sadness. Steve's spirit and timeless philosophy on life will always be the DNA of Apple. His greatest gift, his greatest expression of his appreciation for humanity would not be a singular product, but rather it would be Apple itself. We dedicate this theater to Steve because we loved him and because he loved days like this, where he could share our latest new products and new ideas with the world. And we do so not only to pay tribute to Steve, but to inspire the next generation of creators and innovators. Steve was a genius, and one of the many ways that he showed that was in his uncanny ability to unlock the talent of everybody that he worked with. He thought deeply about our workplace and its surroundings, and he believed that they should inspire talented people to do their best work. So over a decade ago, he began to work on a new campus for Apple. His vision for Apple Park was to create an incredible workplace of the future where engineers and designers could all be together, collaborating on the next generations of Apple product to change the world. Steve's vision and passion live on here at Apple Park and everywhere in Apple. Today and always, we honor him.
Steve's widow, Lorene Powell-Jobs, in the front row there. Must have some interesting thoughts about what she's hearing.
We're here today to talk about some incredible products. But before we get to that, I'd like to take a moment to talk about what's happening in Florida and Texas, southeastern United States, and across the Caribbean. Our hearts go out to all of the people whose lives have been disrupted by Hurricanes Irma and Hurricane Harvey. You're in our thoughts. We send you our strength.
Ironically, this is something Steve Jobs never
You're in our
did,
prayers.
never wanted to do, which is make
Apple is working
charitable
closely with
enterprise.
relief and recovery efforts through Hand in Hand
At least
and the
not in
American
public.
Red Cross.
Right.
And in addition to Apple's direct contributions, we're making it really simple for the entire Apple community to donate via iTunes and the App Store. The Hand in Hand benefit for hurricane relief airs tonight on all of the major broadcast networks, and I encourage you to watch it. And however you choose to give, I hope that you open your heart to this important effort. Thank you.
So that's what makes Tim Cook different than
Absolutely.
Steve Jobs.
Yes.
Yep.
Not making this more than a marketing event.
Now, let me tell you a little bit about our new home. We'll start moving in Apple Park later this year. But of course, such a large move is really more of a process. And the first big step is the opening today of the Steve Jobs Theater. It's the most state-of-the-art, purpose-built theater ever, built for events
It's a 16 by
just
9
like this
broadcast,
one.
too. Remember they were doing wider.
Apple Park has been built to reflect
Interesting.
Apple's values
That's the
for
first
both
time they've done it this way.
technology and
No,
the
they've been,
environment.
the last couple they had,
It
those like
connects-
wide. It was like
connects
2.5 or something.
advanced
It was a
buildings
very wide
with a
screen.
rolling parkland.
Now it's normal.
Now it's
to
normal
form
16
an
by 9.
open and inspiring environment for our teams to create and collaborate. The park itself was converted from a sea of asphalt into a 175-acre green space with over 9,000 trees. Apple Park is designed to be seamless with nature. It's open, transparent. It brings the outside in and connects everyone to the beautiful California landscape. It's powered by 100% renewable energy. Thank you. And in fact, we have one of the world's largest on-site solar installations right here. And just like everything we make, Apple Park has been designed with extraordinary attention to detail, incredible precision, and really beautiful materials. We've got a great visitor center, which will be open later this year, where we will welcome everyone.
That's nice.
And inside the visitor center,
Lots
you'll
of people,
find an incredible augmented
visit us.
reality experience
Go to
where you
the
can learn more about Apple Park,
store in Cupertino.
design,
They go to the Facebook
and its
headquarters, the
innovations.
Google headquarters. It's kind of
You'll
part of
also
the
find a
geek,
fantastic new Apple retail store.
trip.
As you know,
it's nice to have a
Apple
store in
retail
there.
has always been
Yeah, absolutely. The
about
mothership
more than
store.
selling.
Well, they had. I mean,
It's
they had a
about
store.
learning.
They still have a store. One in
changed it,
Louis.
though.
Inspiring.
I haven't been to it recently.
Yeah,
Connecting.
You buy a lot of cool
They
stuff there.
changed it a lot. I think more like this,
Now,
probably, more like a
our
visitor
stores
center.
are also the best place to go discover, explore, and experience our new
We
products.
used to go down there just to get
So before
t-shirts.
we
Yeah.
get to some incredible
I use that for
products,
research for when we want to buy a
we'd like
shirt.
to give
Just go
you
figure
an
out Apple.
update.
You know, they went through like 80 shirts to figure
Do
out
that?
this is the one. I
I'd
figured it
like
just
to
saves me a
invite
lot of
Angela
time.
up.
Oh, first
Angela?
time Angela Ahrens has ever been on stage. The former CEO of Burberry, Apple stole her away at great expense to run retail.
Thank
She
you.
doesn't like being in front of people.
Yeah.
It's
why she
great
hasn't
to be
been.
here. And I love the fact that the same team that designs Apple Park also designs our largest retail stores around the world. But it's funny, because we actually don't call them stores anymore. We call them town squares, because they're gathering
I
places
didn't get that memo.
for 500 million people who
Where you buy
visit
stuff.
us every year. Places where everyone's welcome and where all of Apple comes together.
This is Apple going back a little bit to its
But what
traditional
really brings it all to life,
roots
as
of these
Tim
presentations,
said,
starting
are
with
our
sales.
incredible teams.
I know.
Retail.
Always said.
They stopped
We'll see how
doing that
long
for a
it goes,
while.
and then
Yeah.
then they would go really long, and we wish that they
And they're
hadn't.
Apple's
Right.
greatest
Started off.
differentiator because they bring personal connection to communities all over the world. They humanize technology.
You're watching live coverage of
But
Apple's
along with our
iPhone
amazing teams, our
10
commitment to design
announcement.
also sets us apart. To make
streaming
things
live
simple.
from the Steve Jobs Theater in Apple
beautiful.
Park. Megan
And that's
Maroney
why we
and
think
Alex Lindsay and I
of
are here.
Apple Retail
to
as
comment.
Apple's largest products. And like all of our products, we've designed new features
Glad you're
to
here.
take the customer experience even further. In our largest cities where we can, we create a plaza, a space open to everyone. Come in and relax, meet up with friends,
This, in a
or
way,
just listen
is
to a
Apple
local artist
looking
on
forward
the
to the
weekends.
future of retail when everything is
Inside,
bought
we've designed a
online.
forum, a
Then
place
what
for
does a store
customers to
mean? It's
come
a
and
more of an
I
engage,
still,
experience.
I will say, I still buy
Or
almost
just
all of my
connect with one
hardware
another.
from a store.
You go in.
For
I go
local
in, I
artists
want
and
to fiddle with it,
artists
but I think there's a lot. Well, there's a lot of people there with me. So there's something about
Well,
being
Apple
able
stores
to.
are always crowded, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, or I'll buy them from Apple.com. I don't buy Apple products. It's too hard to deal with the whole Apple Care thing
And the
with any
Genius
third
Pro.
party. So I almost always buy all my Apple products directly from Apple.
Online, though.
Sometimes online, but a lot of times I'll go in because for whatever reason I want to.
And lastly,
I buy online, but I do leave my children there while I shop at other places in the mall.
Town Square and childcare.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that check in their email,
And they seem
especially in
seasonally
San Francisco.
to always feature
Yeah,
our
it's good.
newest
It's good
products and
internet. That's
services.
some little tip.
And this summer,
Excellent
to
Wi-Fi.
turn on these new features, we've launched Today at Apple, our in-store experience designed to inspire customers to go even further with their passions. We started with things that are core to Apple's
I think you're
DNA.
going to see Amazon do this.
Things
You're going to see
people
a lot
most
of
use their devices
companies
for,
do this
and
where
they trust us to teach them.
Whole Foods is a good example.
Like
It's going to be less
photography,
and less a grocery store
music,
you shop in and more
gaming,
an
and app
experience with
development.
restaurants and cooking
We've created
demonstrations.
new
I can
programs.
definitely see that. I mean,
like
Whole Foods now. I mean, you can already
where
see the
customers
Amazon
can
effect.
perfect
They
their photography
everything's
skills
empty.
with features
Yeah.
like
I asked them.
portrait
I asked them the
mode
other day.
and
I was in
memories.
Novato here,
All of this
and I
in a
said,
really
so
fun social way
the
by
supply
taking
isn't
them out
quite
to the
fitting up with the
neighborhood
demand. Yeah, we
to
dropped the
explore
prices, and now we
each other.
can't keep up with.
Oh, interesting.
Filling the shelves.
Or Swift Playgrounds, where the next generation app developers can begin to learn the basics of coding.
This is smart for Apple.
And one of my personal
The reason they
favorites,
started the stores is they didn't feel like they were
Teachers
well
Tuesdays,
represented at
where
retail.
our
If you went into a
teams help
CompUSA,
local educators
the
stay
Apple section was
updated
kind
on the
of
newest
dismal.
technologies and apps.
They knew they had to have a place where they could show
In
their
some
products,
of our
but now
largest
it's
stores,
And the
sessions are led
show
by
their
local
culture,
artists.
show
Exactly,
Like
and
this
get people,
music
and especially when you look at the
lab called
coding
The Art
push
of
that they're
Making
doing,
Yeah.
is getting
with
getting
RZA
kids
and the
excited
rolling
about
team
coding.
in
That's how you start them, and you're having them program in your
sessions
language,
in all stores
which is
are led
exclusive
by
to
our
Apple at this
creative
point
team.
with Swift.
And a new
From the time they're
position we
8, they're not
call
gonna.
a
It's going to be hard to
Creative
move that pipe up.
So the
somewhere else.
Creative Pro is now to liberal arts as the genius has always been to technology. And I would love to show a quick video to show you how Today at Apple is coming to life.
Welcome to Today at Apple. Today at Apple, we're going to be learning about coding.
Today at Apple, we're going to be talking with a very talented illustrator.
Today at Apple, we're learning
But
about
the Apple stores have
photography.
always done a lot of this stuff, haven't
have
they?
tons of
It
good
seems like they've always had
So they did
educational
it,
sessions.
Then they went away. I mean, I think I spoke at the Apple Store almost every week
We
for a
did
while.
shows there
Because-
several times.
But it was a block from our office, and so
Right.
I was over there every week or two.
But now it's more an event and more an experience than it is, how to use Photoshop.
Right.
Do you want to know how much Angela's jacket costs?
Yeah.
$2,895.
Who-
Burberry.
Who's she wearing? She's wearing
She's
Burberry.
wearing Burberry. It's a macrame
Nice of
lace
her.
trench coat.
It's changed a lot since the Burberry I knew.
We just started.
And then
It looks like a trench coat. That's so funny. I thought, it's interesting she's wearing that.
I think she's wearing also a DPA 4080.
That's the microphone.
Two of them.
Yeah.
Two of them.
Those are $500 each. So we're talking about what she's wearing.
I think the microphone's
Those are really nice microphones.
a little
We're
better than the jacket.
And we're also going to continue to reinvest in our 400 classic locations, including
Classic.
Apple Fifth Avenue in New York City, where we're opening up the plaza to allow natural sunlight to come in into a
this is
greatly
interesting. This is being
expanded space
completely
below.
remodeled.
And you can see the glass cube will return when reopened late next year.
Late next year. It's taken that long, more than a year to do this.
And in Paris, we're restoring an
Who else
entire
has this kind
historic
of money?
building on the iconic
Nobody.
Champs-Élysées.
Actually, nobody.
We're turning
Governments,
a
a couple
5-story
governments.
atrium
China.
into our
remarkable.
largest forum. Early next year, we're transforming a theater beneath Piazza Liberty into a modern-day town square for Milan.
Wow. So this started in
imagine
San
moving
Francisco
right
with
there
in a
next
kind of a smaller way with the
Yeah.
grove that they had outside the San Francisco store. But this is remarkable. This is
And we've
unheard of.
recently announced an ambitious project.
You're still
to
making more
restore
money per square
Carnegie
foot than any other
Library
retailer.
In the heart of our nation's capital. We can't think of
Somebody
a
else
better
bought up
place
the
for
post
Today
office,
at
but at
Apple
least they got the
programs
library.
than a building originally created for the city to access knowledge and unlock their potential.
This is really remarkable. You could see that this is. You could see her hand, Erin's hand in all this. This is. She,
And I'm
this is. I'm
thrilled
sure what they said.
to personally announce the
Angela, we'd like you to
opening of our
revamp
newest
the entire
flagship
experience.
store in the heart of the Midwest.
That must have been an
Apple
exciting
Michigan
challenge.
Avenue,
Something worth leaving
in Chicago
Burberry
on
for.
October 20th.
That's the one that
Wow.
has the top of it looks like on top of a laptop on them.
Wow.
Our team has designed a spectacular pavilion that seamlessly connects the plaza to the promenade as a part of the city's plan to transform the Chicago riverfront. So that's a brief highlight of just a couple of things we've been working on. And as Tim said, Apple's retail purpose has always been to enrich lives. So a huge thank you to the 65,000 Apple retail employees around the world whose passion, energy,
lives
and
of
Apple users.
commitment in serving all of us every day and ensuring all of Apple comes together. It's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Angela. I am really excited. I'm really excited about all the incredible things going on in retail, but I am especially proud of our unbelievable.
So this is a
retail
little different.
team.
This isn't so much
It's the best
how
place
much sales,
to go experience
how high big
our
sales.
new
They don't
technology.
need to talk about
They
that
didn't
anymore.
mention that.
Let's
Yeah, it's
get
obvious,
going
right?
on telling you about what we're going to launch today, beginning with Apple Watch.
Start with the smallest. Work your way up.
Apple Watch was designed to help people stay active, motivated, and connected so that they could live a better day. And I'm happy to tell you that more people are doing that than ever before. Since the launch of the Series 2, the Apple Watch has experienced phenomenal growth. In fact, last quarter, Apple Watch grew over 50% compared to the previous year. This is incredible. Now, last year, we told you that the Apple Watch had already become the #2 watch in the world. Today, I'm thrilled to tell you the Apple Watch is now the #1 watch in the world.
You gotta figure Rolex doesn't sell millions of watches.
But what's
I wonder if
most
it's by
rewarding
revenue
to
or by.
us is how
I guess they
much
wouldn't be able to.
users love it. We have an industry-leading customer satisfaction rate of 97%. This is blow away.
All these numbers, this one is the only one that's kind of absolute.
Write
Everything
to
else
us
is relative.
all the time.
Yeah, 50 growth of 50%.
Meaningless. Yeah.
Like, did they sell 2
Yeah.
or
Helping
2 million?
them lead a healthier life.
It disappoints me when they do
These
this,
stories
but I guess they need something
are
to cheer.
unbelievable. And we prepared a video so that you could hear directly from them what they're
Even
telling
customer
us.
satisfaction,
I'd love
if
to
you
play it.
spend the money on an Apple Watch,
Right, you're more likely to be
much more likely to like it, yeah. It's an expensive proposition.
Querida Apple.
Привет, Apple.
And now another ad.
So great.
We want to thank our sponsor, Rocket. Speaking of ads, Rocket Mortgage for providing the wherewithal to give you live coverage of Apple's event this week. Rocket Mortgage puts the entire mortgage process online at rocketmortgage.com/twit. You can keep showing the ad. I just thought I'd put in a plug while we're
99-year-old
watching.
world traveler.
Every day for the last 2.5
love their
years, I
watch.
have worn this tiny computer on my wrist.
This is the first time I've worn a watch since my bar mitzvah.
I was a scrawny, sports-hating kid who never really liked being active.
I think these actually must be the real people.
Fat, I was the
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Although the tweets that they used in their ad campaign were in fact not the real people, they were actors.
Now I get up at 5 a.m.
If it's 5 minutes to midnight, I'll do push-ups in my bedroom.
I'll take the dog out for a really quick walk around the block.
I walk around the house and my family thinks I'm a little crazy.
That's like my dad.
I'm obliged when the Apple Watch reminds me to stand up.
We're getting his points.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with the watch?
Apple Watch, я становлюсь лучшей версией себя.
I ran my first Spartan race in December and ran a full marathon in February.
Mutters.
Agora eu consigo checar em como meu corpo está respondendo a múltiplos ensaios.
You know, I'm starting to worry that here we are 20 minutes into this event and very little hard information about new products. I'm starting to worry that maybe this won't be...
Yeah, we didn't think we thought we were going to release a phone, but you know.
Well, I'm sure they'll talk about it, but
my thoughts, I remembered my Apple Watch.
I can remember Apple events where they leapt right into the products.
Well, I think
because they
part
had
of it
so
was
much to talk about.
WWDC had so many things to talk about that they had to get rid of everything because they had to cut, you know.
Well, and this is, you know, it's of course these events are always about marketing, but this is really a lot of marketing. This has been a long form 22-minute ad.
I have enjoyed the ones where they just get to the point as fast as possible.
Well, that's what we're here for, right?
Thank you so much for creating.
Now, for some reason, we're seeing your Safari.
Thanks for listening.
That's Karsten. That's your desktop.
All the best, Kara.
There you go. Nice job.
I was like, that's an interesting part of it.
Why are they showing Yosemite? Yeah. Okay.
I want more and different workouts. I want it to know how, when I'm doing Pilates.
I want to be able to edit my own watch face. All I want. That's all I want. No seconds. They have no digital watch face with seconds.
No words to describe what it feels like to receive these notes. I'd like to thank everybody in the video for sharing their personal
I just want to say we get a lot of nice mail too. But we're not going to come to your house.
We have some great news.
We should.
I would.
I think you're missing out on an opportunity there.
I'd like to invite Jeff up. Jeff
Williams, Apple's Chief Operating Officer, the man who took Tim Cook's job.
Thanks, Tim. Those stories are really great, and it's really inspiring to us that so many people are getting healthier with Apple Watch. And with watchOS 4, they're going to be able to do even more. We're adding smart activity coaching, which is going to help more people close more rings more often. A completely redesigned workout app with high-intensity interval training, new features for swimmers like auto sets and gym kit, an industry first. It's really simple. You just tap your watch on a machine, get going, and all your metrics are in sync. One of the things that enables these fitness features is the Apple heart rate sensor. And it's been at the core of Apple Watch since the very beginning.
There were stories
and
this
today,
morning that Apple
it's the most used heart rate
was working
monitor
hard to get
in the world.
more medical information
And
out
we
of the
want to
heart rate
use
sensor.
it to help even
Perhaps
more people. So we're doing
to
three
warn of
things.
medical issues
First,
and so forth.
we're making enhancements to the heart rate app to give you more information. Now, you'll see your heart rate right on the watch face so you can keep an eye on it with just a raise of the wrist. And when you launch the heart rate app, you'll see new measurements like resting heart rate. Apple Watch calculates this daily by correlating background heart rate readings with accelerometer data. And recovery heart rate, which tells you how quickly your heart rate drops after workout. A lower resting heart rate and a quicker recovery rate can be signs of improved fitness.
I wonder if they could do heart rate variability.
You can keep a better picture of your heart
Which is
rate. You'll have a better
another
picture
number
throughout the day.
Exercise
The second thing we're
experts think
doing
is valuable.
is inspired by many of the letters we receive from customers who notice an unusually high heart rate when they wouldn't expect one. So Apple Watch has been helpful for them, but we realize most people won't notice. So we're adding a feature. And now Apple Watch will notify you when it detects an elevated heart rate and you don't appear to be active.
You're watching it. This is
third thing we're doing,
sort of a step towards that.
Heart rhythm. A regular heart
yeah,
rhythm
this
has
is
a
what
familiar pattern.
they would love to be
But when
able
your
to.
heart
And we've
beats
heard stories
irregularly,
about
it's called
people
an arrhythmia.
being
It doesn't mean it's
diagnosed
beating
by
too
their
fast or too slow.
watch.
It just means it's beating out of its normal
I
rhythm.
don't know what physicians would say about this, but
And that can cause problems. The most common form of serious arrhythmia is called atrial fibrillation, or AFib, and it affects tens of millions of people and is a leading cause of stroke. But the challenge is many people with AFib don't feel symptoms, so it often goes undiagnosed. We've been looking at this for a couple of years, and we think Apple Watch can help. In our initial studies, Apple Watch has been effective at surfacing irregular rhythms. So we're expanding that work, and today we're announcing the Apple Heart Study.
Yeah. You know, this is something that Vic Condorcet's company does, the Cardia from AliveCore. And but you need, to hold special sensors, but it connects to the phone, and then you can send that EKG to your physician or to their physicians for analysis.
Of course, the question is, what does that now? Where does that stand now that you have a watch that?
This doesn't affect that because they're not announcing this as a feature. They're saying they're going to be able to, do some studies with Stanford on this. The FDA has to approve it. AliveCore has FDA approval. Apple clearly does not.
Those are the updates.
This is part of their research
kit,
and they join the other great features of watchOS 4. We have a completely redesigned,
to be honest, these are all minor hardware, software improvements.
An intelligent Siri face, fun new characters from Toy Story, and more. So that's watchOS 4.
That is not a new watch.
Digital all Apple Watch customers on September 19th.
So there were rumors it'd be a Series 3 watch. This is just a watchOS update. September 19th. Watch that date. That might be the date for iOS 11.
And now I'd like to introduce the next generation of Apple Watch.
This is the one that reputedly will have LTE cellular data.
And connected to your phone that you already have. You don't need to have another account.
That would be nice.
I wish it had the heart rate monitoring when we heard the price of the new iPhone, and we could all be sitting here. Looks like you're not moving. Your heart rate went up.
Oh, there's that red crown that we were told would be part of the new Series 3 watch.
So take a call while you're surfing.
And I take it that was a ringtone we heard.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Introducing Apple Watch Series 3, and it has cellular built in.
Evidently it works in the ocean.
Now you have the freedom to go anywhere with just your Apple Watch.
Or take calls while you're surfing.
This has been our vision from the very beginning, and we believe built-in cellular makes Series 3 the ultimate expression of Apple Watch. Now you can go for a run with just your watch and still be connected.
Apple Music.
You can leave your phone when you go to the beach or just run a quick errand. And it's really nice to know you can be reached if needed while staying in the moment.
Must.
Has to.
You can receive an important call with just your watch, and the number is the same number as your iPhone. You don't have to manage a separate number. The apps you rely on, like Messages, just work, and Siri's at your beck and call anytime, anywhere. You can use maps and get directions, and the location for Find My Friend automatically switches to your watch when you're away from your phone.
This is not the first watch with LTE,
like
but
WeChat work over cellular as well.
Most of those have been giant.
And
right.
Coming next month,
This looks the
cellular is
same.
going to change the way we listen to music. Because with Apple Watch Series 3 and Apple Music, you can stream 40 million songs on your wrist.
Interesting, Apple Music, probably not other streaming services, or do you think they'll put Spotify on that?
I think they'll let other music services onto it, let them build apps for it. I think there is some
You'll have
antitrust
access
stuff
to all your favorite music. You can listen to Beats One Live or any Apple Radio music station. You can even ask Siri to find you the perfect track. Now, the best device for staying active has all the music you need to stay motivated. To enable these features on Apple Watch, we have packed Series 3 with the most advanced technologies ever in a watch. Inside is a new dual-core processor delivering up to 70% more performance. It's really, really fast.
Where is the battery?
Siri is quicker than ever, and thanks to the new processor, for the first time on Apple Watch, Siri can talk.
Doesn't look thicker, does it?
It's 64 degrees right now in South Lake Tahoe.
It's really convenient.
Siri has not been able to talk on the watch
screen when you ask it a question.
You'll be leaving your AirPods in all
Bluetooth
day
and Wi-Fi connectivity, we developed a custom wireless chip we call W2. There's nothing else like it. It delivers up to 85% faster Wi-Fi while being 50% more power efficient for both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And we've added a barometric altimeter. So now you get flights of stairs climbed and elevation gains after a workout.
That's nice.
We're also releasing an app for developers that's going to be great for skiing and snowboarding apps. Of course, got a snowboarder out there.
I think he meant API for developers.
Of course, the biggest challenge of all was adding cellular. You see, our little watch is already packed, and you have to add antennas, radios, power amplifiers, a SIM card. And if you don't do it right, it gets so big it looks like a house arrest bracelet, and you're not going to want to wear it.
I agree.
So our engineers have been hard at work, and they've come up with some really creative solutions. For example, rather than add an antenna, the display itself is the multi-frequency antenna for both LTE and UMTS. And of course you have to have a SIM card, but even a nano SIM would be way too big. So instead, we integrated an electronic SIM, and it's a fraction of the size. So
a lot of engineering into this.
Here's where we ended up.
Very
Even with all these new features, faster dual-core processor, W2, altimeter, all the stuff you've got to put in for cellular, the case for Series 3 is the same size as Series 2.
That is really remarkable.
Did you see how small that SIM was? It was itty bitty.
Well, it's a chip. It's not. There's Woz and Janet, his wife. Woz is whispering in Janet's ear.
I'm getting you one.
We're both getting this.
Don't buy one until I get it.
0.25 millimeters. That's as thin as 2 sheets of paper. It's really magical to make a standalone call on a device
an important
small.
evolution of the
And I'd like
Apple
to do that for you right now.
Makes it finally, I think, something useful. Kind of what we were waiting
watches so you guys can see what's going on.
I love the idea of going somewhere without my phone.
It is your phone now, right?
Network. This is our new Explorer face.
Got a little cable coming out of his watch.
I'm going to tap on the phone app.
The special version.
And I'm going to call Deidre, who's a colleague on the watch team.
I've always found actually the speaker and microphone on the watch pretty usable. I've actually had phone conversations.
Me too. In emergencies.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal. You look like
Hi, Deidre. Hey, I'm calling you from the new
that is a
Steve Jobs
loudspeaker.
Theater. How are you doing?
I'm a little sad to be missing the keynote, but I'm working.
There's no
very
way
hard
she's
out
talking
here.
into her watch.
Oh yeah, sure you are. Why don't we pull in some video and show everybody where you are?
Well, it could be through the headset.
No, she is not.
This has been a very tough
stand-up
assignment. You know
paddleboarding.
me. I'm a team player.
Yeah, that's you, Deidre. Give. Well, it looks beautiful out there.
It is amazing, but I'm just trying not to fall off this board in front of a million people.
That's actually a great demo.
Good, Deidre. Hey,
stand-up paddleboarding
I
wearing
cut it
your...
off before something goes awry, but be safe out there, and thanks for doing this.
My pleasure. I may stay here a few more days.
Yeah, okay. That sounds
So they're
great,
using...
Deidre.
That's pretty impressive. Right?
It's very impressive.
And she wasn't talking directly into the watch. She was paddling.
Yeah.
That's a really good... That is very impressive. Really good sound.
But I will say the paddling gives her an excuse to have her hands up higher.
Nearer to her face, yeah.
It'd be probably less use.
She was probably wearing AirPods,
I'm going to go rogue
John's
for a
saying.
minute.
Yeah.
I didn't see the AirPods, though.
Sometimes people take
And why would you wear
technology for
AirPods if you were
granted. Just
over
for
the water?
perspective, I'm mic'd. And in fact, I'm actually double mic'd in just the right location.
As a matter of
so you
fact,
can
he's
hear
wearing
me.
those fine.
Deidre's out in the middle
was those mics?
of a windy
Yeah,
lake.
these are. I'm actually wearing a DPA
Deidre
8040 or
is the
something.
little tiny one on the Apple Watch. It's a foot or two away from her mouth. She's paddling.
Because she was using that
and
mic.
the signal's
But you wouldn't
being
wear the
sent over
headset over
cellular
water.
coming in, and that's just
Wow.
darn close to magic.
Okay, that is a very good demo. Very clever.
That's what happens when you have all the monies. You can have lots of engineers, and you can create things.
But that's a demo where
This is what Apple's
taking
really
your
good
chances,
at.
man.
This is, yeah,
She could have fallen in. That's
Series
really
3
impressive.
Comes in a wide variety
Somebody's
of cases
somebody's taking a
and
drink
bands.
right now.
We have a beautiful new gold aluminum finish along with silver and space gray. And we're excited to introduce a new band we call the Sport
The
Loop.
latency
It's
was very
designed
low,
for an
too, so they
active
weren't using
lifestyle,
satellite.
and it's
For the
light,
video, they're probably
stretchy,
using
and
microwave.
breathable.
Amazing.
For Apple Watch Nike Plus,
Will
we
they
have
do an
exclusive
edition?
new colors, and they're releasing a new version of their Nike Plus Run Club app with great new features like in-run audio coaching. And we have some wonderful colors across all of our bands that you just have to see in person.
So
We have
cellular,
a
it
great
has built-in
partnership with
GPS.
Hermes,
You
and
can
the
surf
tradition
in it, so it's
continues
waterproof.
this year with some new watch face
Dual-core
styles,
processor,
some beautiful new bands like the one on
wireless
the
chip,
left that's inspired by the
altimeter.
classic Hermes driving glove. And last year we introduced a white ceramic watch. This year we're adding a ceramic
There's the
watch
addition.
in a gorgeous
Oh,
gray
I've been
finish.
waiting for that. That's nice. Yeah, the white is a little too... I can't wear this after Labor Day.
No, I'm embarrassed to be
All
sitting
of
next
these
to you.
watches
You need that black
were
one.
built with a great deal
And I'll
of
take that
care as well as concern for the environment, and they're free of these harmful materials.
This is I have to say, a major
that's
step
Apple
forward.
Watch Series 3.
Very
We're finally
cellular,
seeing it grow into what it.
GPS, swim-proof,
You know that that's
70%
when Tim
faster
Cook talked a couple
dual-core
years ago.
processor,
We can see where we want to go with this. We just can't get there right
all the
now.
features of
This is where they
watchOS
wanted to get
4,
I don't know how they get the battery
and
life on
it
that.
still has all-day battery life up to 18 hours across a mix
just
of
don't-
LTE,
that's
Bluetooth,
remarkable.
and Wi-Fi. We have two versions of Series 3. There's one with cellular at $399 and a version without cellular that has all the other great features at just $329.
I think that's a good price
And we're
point
going
for
to keep
that.
Series 1 in the line at
And
a
they-
new starting price of
$250.
$249.
Series 1, so an entry-level Apple Watch. But I think the Series 3 with LTE is probably the one you want.
Yeah.
But note, they don't say LTE, do they? They say cellular.
Series 3 cellular will be available in these 9 countries.
Australia, Canada,
with these
China,
14
France.
carriers at launch, and 6 more coming later in the year. And we've worked with each of these carriers, and they're each have a special introductory offer
AT&T,
for
Sprint,
Series
T-Mobile,
3.
Verizon
It's
in
gonna
the
be
US,
great.
Bell and Telus in
we,
Canada,
we are
Optus,
offering
Telstra, and
the
Vodafone
Series
in
3
Australia.
without cellular in these 26 countries.
So you'll
at
have to be in a
launch.
country where they have a
Orders will
partnership.
begin September 15th, and availability will be September
China, Unicom in
22nd.
China.
That's the update on Apple Watch, and now back
That
to
is
Tim.
a big improvement. I think that's significant.
I mean,
that keeps their momentum going with the watch.
They're going to sell a lot of those.
Yeah.
It's going to really, it's a
good
difficult.
price point.
It's to make the whole market very difficult.
Apple Watch is the ultimate device
Well, and Fitbits,
for
I
healthy
think,
life, and the Series 3 takes that to a whole
if you
new
compare
level.
that to the watch they've
Now,
announced,
Jeff showed you some very cool
they're
things you
really
can
out of the
do with
picture
the
now.
cellular
Yes,
function in
I think it's
Series
over.
3. And one of those is to stream 40 million songs right on your wrist. We've made a great ad showing just that.
September 22nd, the availability for the new Apple Watch. If you want it with cellular, it'll be $399.
Order September 15th.
Order it, at the end of the week. I think that's going to be the model for all of the stuff we're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
And a September 9th release date of the new Watch OS, which means September 19th, which means probably the same for iOS 11 and tvOS.
I'm just hoping I have Wi-Fi on my flight. I'm in the air.
So you have to use one of those carriers, but you don't need to get another account.
Unclear.
On
It seems like that, and I wonder. That's how Samsung does it with some of their watches. You have a special app on your phone that pairs it. It probably is the case. You have to have an iPhone, obviously, to do that, and an iPhone with an account on one of those carriers.
They did say you'd use the same number.
Same number, but they didn't say anything about the price. Whether you would, and I would guess, knowing telecom carriers, that you're going to pay extra for that feature, but I don't know. I mean, Apple has a lot of clout in the smart.
I was going to say, I can imagine Apple at least try to press down on. They're already paying for it. It's already connected to the phone.
But it is
still paying minutes.
It isn't, because it's a separate chip, and it's typically they do charge for that.
This is a big moment for Apple Watch, and we think you are going to love it. Next up, I'd like to turn your attention to Apple TV. Apple TV has changed the way we experience television, simplifying the way that we discover and enjoy movies, TV shows, sports, news, games, apps, and so much more.
Only ways to accidentally change the channel with their.
We've just been awarded our second Emmy for Apple TV. Thank you. This Emmy was in recognition for how Siri makes it so easy to search, discover, and interact with your TV content. We're really proud of the efforts we've made to improve the TV experience. Now, throughout the history of TV, there's been a few key inflection points that have changed the way we experience television. It, of course, all began with black and white.
Radio Rod says they're DPA 4080s.
With the introduction of color. It took a huge step forward with the advent of HD.
I think when I said it the second time, I think I mistakenly said 8040s, but they're 4080s.
A more true-to-life experience, a more immersive experience. Now, we're at the next major inflection point. One that has the most stunning visuals
Well, we were there last
that
year,
are
but
ideal for the large TV
that
screens that are coming into our living rooms. This will bring cinematic
device in my
to virtually
AV
everything
cabinet.
that you watch. That's why I am so excited to introduce Apple TV 4K.
This is where all those leaks really hurt, because that would be a big announcement.
Well, we kind of knew it was coming. I mean, we knew that was the upgrade.
We definitely knew.
But we
even
knew
the
4K.
name.
But 6 months ago, we knew that 4K was going to be going to go.
Yeah.
And to tell you all about them,
I mean, that was
I'd
the
like
update
to
that had to
invite
come.
Eddie to the stage. Eddie?
Eddie Q.
Notice that there's color in the 4K. My guess is that's HDR.
Yeah, the rumors were HDR settings. Interesting to see which HDR standards they support.
And all of them.
First
Maybe.
is 4K. Let me show you. This is an image in 4K. It's got incredible detail.
Really, HDR
That's possible because
is the
4K
big
has
improvement,
4 times
frankly.
the number of pixels as HD.
Yeah, I mean,
If you're sitting close to the TV, 4K can make a difference. But if you're
Depends on how big the
feet
TV
away,
is.
More
Yeah.
important, and it's called high dynamic range.
There you go. I
Or
agree.
HDR.
That's the big
While
change.
4K is about the number of pixels, HDR is about better pixels. Let me show you. Here's that same 4K
Well, they're not
image.
better. They're just.
And here it is
I like
in
them when they're
HDR.
These are better pixels. It does
Look
make
at
a
the
big
color,
difference. And
the
almost
details.
everybody will notice it.
Apple TV can do this because it supports the industry
kind of
standard
exaggerated.
HDR10 as well as Dolby Vision, the best HDR
Okay,
experience.
2 of the 4. That's
Now,
good,
Apple
though.
TV 4K with HDR,
HDR10 and Dolby
delivers
Vision.
the highest
great.
picture quality ever.
Those are the big 2.
And to show you, we've installed a state-of-the-art Dolby 4K HDR cinema projector in the theater. So let's dim the lights and let me show you the new
man,
Apple
how
TV.
nice. That's great. There's one of the reasons why you want to have a theater that you built yourself.
Now, we remastered our screensavers. Our customers love
That one's
these.
always
Take
looks fake
full
to me. That's
advantage of
Dubai.
4K HDR.
That's the one I was talking about, Megan, where I really thought that was CGI.
Here we are in Dubai, and even at night, you can see incredible details in the buildings and the cars on the road.
Maybe that's because it wasn't 4K.
Now, here's a city shot that really shows off the crispness and sharpness that's possible.
And I'm sure it looks amazing. We did a projection actually outside, but it with 4K with Barco 4Ks.
Now we've redone the whole
like
$50,000.
They were 100,000.
Text is sharper.
Yeah, I'm sure Apple's is
brighter
even
and more
more.
vibrant.
Yeah, the Dolby one is really
Let's
expensive.
take a look at a 4K HDR clip. This is from the new Spider-Man movie coming to iTunes later this month.
Same interface, alas.
It's hard for us to know what's going on watching the stream. It's like, okay,
yeah,
looks
720p to me.
And it's important to note that Netflix, Amazon, all of those companies have been shooting 4K for 5 years.
Yeah.
They've been requiring it, so it's not. So everything is going to be easily upgraded to 4K.
Yeah. I watch 4K Netflix and Amazon and video streams all the time. They look good on my Roku.
You're the Avengers.
Right.
What are you guys doing here?
A lot of times the problem is they look a little overcompressed. I notice a lot of the macro blocking.
Well, that's the problem when you're streaming it. It has a lot of macro blocking all the
More
time.
handsome in person. Whoa, Iron Man! Hey, what are you doing robbing a bank?
Even cable and satellite, you're going to see a lot of compression.
Right.
I see a remarkable amount of compression on my direct Comcast views of 4K. It's just the macro block is terrible.
Yeah, because they're trying to fit 4 times the number of pixels into 50% more bandwidth. It's not going to.
By the way, you got to wonder why they're robbing an ATM if they have that machine that lifts it like that. That's probably worth more than.
That was great, and that was all playing on the new Apple TV 4K.
It'll be interesting to see if they talk about HEVC.
Now, at the heart of the Apple TV, we've got the powerful 810
has to do it. Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to.
It
would be a real bummer if it didn't.
Pro. And the new Apple TV isn't just slightly faster; it's remarkably faster. CPU performance is more than twice as fast as the current Apple TV, and graphics are more than 4 times faster.
I'll vouch for that. The
and
new
of course,
10.5
it runs the
iPad
latest version of tvOS,
really
the best operating system for the living room. Now, to experience 4K with HDR, you also need great
Presumably,
content.
though, they'll have an A11
We've been
in the new
working with the
iPhone.
large Hollywood studios to bring all of their 4K and HDR movie titles to iTunes. So now you'll have the biggest releases in the best picture quality, all on iTunes, all available for the same price as HD.
Well, that's what they were fighting for, right?
Yeah.
That lower price.
That's very good news.
The rumors were $19.99, so this is even better.
It's very expensive on the other
We're going to automatically
services.
upgrade them to 4K HDR at no additional charge.
Nice. This Apple obviously won a battle with the movie companies here.
And that's a big thing for people like me that buy a lot of stuff on Apple TV is that now I automatically my hundreds of movies are all going to be 4K.
And later this year, Amazon Prime Video with all of their 4K HDR titles and originals as well. Now, last year, we introduced the Apple TV app, an easy way to watch your favorite movies and TV shows in a single place. It's been available in the US, and today I'm happy to announce that we're bringing it to 7 additional countries.
Let me just tell you,
Canada
you guys are
and
so
Australia
lucky.
Later this month, and the rest by the end of the year.
It's the app I turn off almost immediately.
Now, for each country, it's really important that we have the content that those customers know and love.
It's not doing what it was intended to do.
And that's why we're adding all of these local services
What
to
they'd
Apple
really
TV.
like, of course, is to put real TV
Now,
in
later
there.
this
That
year,
was the
Apple
intent,
TV will do even
Working
more.
on it.
Yeah.
Because we're bringing live sports. So you'll
there
never
you go.
miss a game. If you're a huge sports fan like I am,
How much live
you're
sport?
really going to love this feature.
Like all the live
Your
sports?
favorite team is playing on ESPN. It'll automatically appear right first in the up next list.
ESPN, of course. owned
You'll
by
even
Disney,
get
so this was the
notifications
easy
when a
get.
game's about to
Right.
start or if there's a close game so you can start watching instantly.
My question is, do you have to register
And if
the
you
way you have to
scroll
do
up,
every other
you'll see
stupid...
even more games. And in addition, we're bringing live news to the TV app. Now, let's take a look at those games. As you can see, we show
Who's
you
live
the score
news?
and the time remaining to help you decide which game to watch.
If you get live local, it doesn't sound like live locals.
Well, that's very complicated.
I know.
You can blackouts.
Score, you can turn the feature
But
off.
Possible.
PlayStation's doing it.
Now,
YouTube's
we
doing
also
it.
have a dedicated
in
sports
some
tab
markets.
where you can
Sling.
see every live and upcoming game. And as the seasons change,
As we know,
so will
Eddie's
the
quite a
sports
Warriors
tab.
fan and really doesn't like those Cavaliers. So that's
As
important.
sports in the TV app is a real game changer for sports fans. And of course, the new TV app is available on your iPhone and iPad as well. Now, if you own an iPad or iPhone, there's no better choice than Apple TV. You can now share your photos on the big screen, including live photo effects, 4K video memories. You can play from the over 40 million songs in Apple Music, including the music that your friends are listening to. And because Apple TV is always home, you get anywhere, anytime access to all of your HomeKit accessories. And of course,
that's
you
interesting.
got access
Finally
to choose
adding
from
that
the
hub
thousands of
feature
games
we
and apps
expected
on the App Store.
years ago.
And with the A10X Fusion chip, there's so much more that Apple TV can do. And to see what's possible, we'd love to show you a new game from that game company. They're known for making artistic and critically acclaimed games. As a matter of fact, their first game, called Flower, was chosen as the first video game ever to be in the permanent collection in the Smithsonian, which is very, very cool. So with that, I would love to welcome their CEO, Genova Chen.
So Apple TV 4K is a reality. It supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision, two of the big HDR standards.
It's going to sell a lot of copies.
No price availability yet, but rumors were $200.
I mean, I think the market has been so pregnant for this for so long. I think we're going to see a lot of people ready to upgrade for it if they're already in that. And again, it's an ecosystem,
right?
Because you already have all those movies and other things you've already bought.
They're upgrading in my existing movies.
Fantastic.
That's fantastic for free. And they're not going to charge extra for the HDR, UHD versions of movies, which Hollywood did not want to do and doesn't do on any other service. It's very expensive. If you buy on Vudu, buying the HDR, UHD version is much more expensive.
The control is simple and intuitive. Everything can be done with
I'm
one
surprised
finger
they're still pushing this idea of
remote.
gaming on an Apple TV. I guess.
Oh, hey, that's
Is this
Mike's
an
friend
important
Jeff,
part of
and he's asking us to
its
follow
feature
him.
set?
I don't know any real gamers that use the Apple TV regularly. We do at home.
Do you
but
use it
yeah,
as a gaming
Yeah,
platform
games
for the
like
kids?
this, like fun
It's
puzzle
kind
games.
of Nintendo Wii-ish.
Yeah, but we don't have any other gaming
Minecraft.
console. Yeah, Minecraft.
Yeah, but you have to buy a controller because I see him playing this with a remote, but it's not.
Yeah.
The controllers are cheap.
Yeah, the Nimbus.
Where does his sound go? Is it gone?
We really take advantage of the powerful new hardware. With Metal 2 and Apple TV's A10X Fusion chip, we are able to run the game smoothly even with these detailed clouds, intelligent creatures, and up to 8 players from anywhere around the world. And let's see if we can draft off one of these
It's clear
features.
Apple's done very well on iOS with gaming. It's become probably the biggest gaming platform of all, so it makes sense they might try to push this into tvOS.
We've definitely bought a bunch of games on our Apple TV. It's it's not something we play
don't
all
have
the time, but
to
it's
show you
not.
everything, so we're going to skip
Except for
forward
Minecraft.
to the dark tempo ahead. Light and dark are important themes of the game. In Sky, you play as the children of light, and your goal is to bring that light to where it is needed the most.
So Apple's playing catch up with its Apple TV, but because it's Apple and it's such a big platform,
With the light,
it's
Mike was able
it's
to
the
free all the
ecosystem that really
butterflies, and
continues to
together
tie
we
all
move
this stuff
on to
together.
The next part of the adventure. With a live orchestral soundtrack,
That's the hard part that
and
everybody else
cinematic
has is just
experiences,
fragmentation.
you can expect to be immersed in an ever-expanding world.
yeah, there's some really great
So,
boxes. The NVIDIA
join
Shield for
hands
Android
with your
TV,
loved ones.
the Roku,
Play Sky
even
exclusively
Amazon's
on
Fire
Apple
TV. There's some really great choices out
iPad,
there,
and iPhone.
but it's very fragmented.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Geneva. We can't wait for you to get your hands on Sky. We're so excited about the new Apple TV 4K.
And it's important.
It's got powerful
I think it's important for the Hollywood to start playing with some of these technological tech companies because the tech companies are working around them because they're not. I think at some point they're realizing that Apple's going to spend. They just bought a big studio. This is going to get.
And the perfect
They'll get left
screen
out.
companion for your iPhone or iPad. The new Apple TV 4K starts at $179. It joins the existing one.
Good
you can
price.
order it starting on September 15th. and it
September
ships
22nd.
just a week later.
So we're
That
seeing a
is the new
consistency in
Apple
the
TV
timing of
4K.
all of this, and I
Thank you,
suspect
and
it's
I'd
going
like
to
to
be true of
turn
the
it back to
iPhone as
Tim.
well. 15th for the order, week later for delivery. And a good price, $179 for the 32 gig version. You can go up to $200 for a 64 gig version. I don't know anybody who really needs all that
Well, and then
storage.
the other interesting thing about that is is that the quarter, of course, I believe ends September 30th. So the fact that
there
it's
was some
releasing,
thinking that they might try to push it past the end of the quarter so they could get it in there next quarter.
But
all right, here comes the iPhone.
It also could mean this product, this quarter could be outstanding.
Right.
Well, you get a whole bunch of pre-orders.
You get a week.
Apple has always
2 weeks.
believed that technology infused with humanity could improve people's lives and change the world. No other device in our lifetimes have had the impact
Apple's
on
up
the
1%,
world
$8 billion
that the
market
iPhone
cap
has.
game.
Nothing else
This announcement
has become so essential or put so much power into so many people's hands than iPhone. It's truly amazing how much iPhone impacts the world each and every day.
It's interesting because usually
Our intention with iPhone
Apple stock
has
goes down
always
on
been
the
announcement.
news. It goes up on the rumor.
Something so powerful, so immersive, and so magical
now up
that
2%.
the hardware
Almost 2. No,
virtually
up 2 points.
disappears. Over the last 10 years, we've reimagined or invented numerous technologies to create just that experience. The first iPhone forever changed how we interact with technology by introducing multi-touch. For the first time, you were actually touching the software instead of buttons. It was magical. The App Store changed the way we work, play, learn, communicate, spawning new companies and new industries along the way. We took the viewing experience to places literally never seen before with technologies like the Retina display. We changed the way people communicate with features like iMessage and FaceTime that allowed us all to connect in more meaningful ways.
Yeah, there was a big sell-off this morning.
Right.
And with Siri,
and then it's come back
we
up
used
to
artificial
Yeah, people
intelligence.
said, "Oh, that watch, that's going to go somewhere."
iPhone even revolutionized
We always warn clients they want to do events and the event will hit during an Apple thing. We're like, I don't think you might want to move that by a day.
We're kind of busy that time.
And of course, iPhone put amazing, easy-to-use cameras into our hands, becoming the most popular way to capture the images of our lives. Over the past decade, we've pushed forward with innovation after innovation after innovation, bringing us to this moment.
This moment.
When now we can create devices that are far more intelligent, far more capable, far more personal than ever before. We have huge iPhone news for you today, and it gets started right now.
It is iPhone 8. This is not the 10th anniversary iPhone you're seeing. This is the iPhone 8.
With the
8
fingerprint
Plus.
sensor.
Yep.
Glass back.
Glass back, so that is a change. And that's why it's not the 7S.
iPhone 8. iPhone 8. This is a huge step forward for iPhone. And to tell you all about it, I'd like to invite Phil to the stage. Phil?
Apple's Chief Marketing Officer, Phil Schiller.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am so excited to tell you all about the new iPhone 8 and the new iPhone 8 Plus. These are a new generation of iPhone, and they improve on everything we love about iPhone. The design is all new. It has glass in both the front and the back. The aluminum band beautifully matches the finish of each iPhone 8. It comes in
My guess
silver,
is that the
space gray,
10th anniversary iPhone will be in such short
beautiful
supply that
new
they're
gold
really going to pin a lot of their hopes on this phone. And it may even because the 10th anniversary phone is so
It's
expensive.
made from an
I
aerospace
think
grade
the 10th
7000
anniversary phone may
series
do really well.
custom
Yeah, but they're selling this
aluminum
hard,
alloy.
which means I think this is their bread and butter phone, right?
Yeah.
Color process, making sure there's a beautiful, precise hue. And the glass is further reinforced by an internal laser-welded steel and copper structure. We're so excited because this glass is the most durable ever in a smartphone. iPhone 8 and 8 Plus is also microscopically sealed for water and dust resistance. And they have a new Retina HD display in each model. There's a 4.7-inch Retina display in iPhone 8 and a 5.5-inch in iPhone 8 Plus. Now, Apple Retina displays are renowned for their incredible color accuracy, and they have great wide cinema quality color gamut. We've built in our 3D touch technology into the display, and for the first time in an iPhone display, it is our True Tone technology. Now, with True Tone, it adapts the color,
they did that, of course, in the
intensity
iPads, but to have that in a phone,
it's
amazing.
Along with the displays, iPhone 8 and 8 Plus have new stereo speakers as well.
I like that.
They're 25% louder than the speakers in iPhone 7, and they have a deeper bass, too. And this is pretty incredible. Inside iPhone 8 and 8 Plus is a brand new chip, and this is a breakthrough in performance in a mobile device. We call it A11 Bionic.
Ooh, Bionic?
Well, that was leaked also, I'm sorry to say. So far, nothing we haven't heard in the leaks.
It's the smartest chip ever in a smartphone. It's a 64-bit design, 4.3 billion transistors, 6-core.
Shiny.
We're going to geek out here for a bit because it is so
kind of amazing.
Awesome. It has 2 high-performance cores.
6-core
They're 25% faster
phone.
than the high-performance cores in the previous industry-leading A10 chip. There's 4 high-efficiency cores.
It's really
up to
a
70% faster than the ones.
You know, if you can figure out how to get them all networked, you can turn into a little render farm.
Performance controller that now can use all 6 cores at once.
Wow.
Can deliver up to 70% improvement in multi-threaded workloads. And
Seems
they
like
have
overkill for a phone, I'll be
Apple
honest with you.
Depends on what you want to do with it.
Processing unit, or GPU. This is a
do
3-core
Photoshop?
design.
I think we start thinking about the AR requirements.
Yeah.
You know, what we run into right now is, you know, you throw heavy 3D into it, and we're limited to about 1 million polygons. So being able to get that to 2 or 3 million makes all the difference.
And the GPU also is incredible for machine learning apps. And those kind of tasks get a big speed up if they use our core machine learning framework, too. There's more to it. The A11 Bionic includes our first new generation image signal processor, or ISP. So you know this is used in photography. It delivers faster autofocus in low light. It has new pixel processing for sharpness and texture. And for the first time, to help reduce noise, it has hardware-enabled multi-band noise reduction. All of this helps to improve performance and helps us take better pictures. Perhaps the most beloved feature of every new generation of iPhone is the cameras.
It is
and
the secret sauce for their cameras,
taking
is
photos,
this
and
custom
customers send us their
silicon.
photos for our Shot on iPhone campaign. Like this one. This was sent from Jeremy Perez
Because after all, they're
Cruz, who
using
shot it with
basically
an
the same
iPhone
sensors
7
everybody
Plus.
else is.
Right.
I don't know, we're still
love
using Sony sensors,
the
but
iPhone 8 camera.
it's
There's an
the
all-new
silicon, it's the
12-megapixel
software.
sensor. It's larger
And the lens.
faster. It provides 83% more light, and it's more power efficient at the same time. It has deeper pixels and a new color filter. So this adds up to having better color saturation,
OIS.
a wider
I wonder
dynamic
if it's for
range
both
of color,
cameras.
and lower noise in your photos and videos. iPhone 8 Plus has 2 new sensors in its dual camera. The wide-angle camera has an f1.8 aperture and optical image stabilization. The telephoto camera has f2.8 aperture. So as always, we want to show you the kind of photos you can take.
So they're
off of our
implying
new
that both
cameras.
sensors now will
These
have
are photos
OIS,
we're going to show
which
that
would
have
be
not been
an
retouched in
advance.
any way. They're
Yeah.
straight
Something the
off
Note
the
8
iPhone 8
offers.
and 8 Plus. So here's the first one. This is absolutely beautiful. Now that's not the Golden Gate Bridge. This is taken in Portugal. It shows the beauty of wide color gamut. There's great dynamic range, sharpness, and incredibly low noise. Just look at that blue sky.
That's what
Here's
we're
another
looking at.
example. It shows incredible wide quality color again. Just look at the skin tones and the detail in the hair and the eyes. If you look closely in her eyes, you can actually see the photographer reflected there holding an iPhone to take the picture.
Okay, fine.
Here's a great example of the amazing
Are the
texture.
Seems to be good at orange.
the aperture and the pixel and all that stuff, is that impressive
see
as a
details
photographer to
in
you?
It's the same. It's not
That's the
significant.
7?
Here's a great
Yeah.
example of low light
1.8, I think, is the same.
thought it was
2.8.
I don't think it was
2.
Yeah, I think it was higher than 1.8.
All right.
Last year, we introduced
There are
portrait
camera
mode.
phones with 1.7
iPhone
now.
8 takes fantastic
OIS in
portrait
both of them
modes.
is a big deal. If
People
it
flip over
is,
taking these photos,
not
and
clear.
now with the iPhone 8 Plus, you're going to get
that's one of the
sharper
problems with the
details,
telephoto
more
lens
uses
in
in
the
low
7
light,
is you
and even
couldn't
a more
really
natural
do
bokeh in
low
the
light very
background
well
of the photos.
without OIS.
So So this was a big hit. We had a surprise new feature last year, portrait mode. We brought it out in beta, and it just got better and better over time, and customers send us photos. They love this. So we challenged the engineering team to do that again, to make it easy for all of us to take advantage of an advanced photographic technique. And they're doing it. And it has to do with lighting. And if you've ever had a professional portrait taken, you know that pro photographers use advanced equipment.
This was leaked out, and I was curious how they were going to implement this.
Sculpt the light on your face to create the perfect mood for a portrait photograph. Well, our team is making this possible for all of us. Using the new dual cameras and the A11 Bionic chip and the iPhone 8 Plus, the team has come up with a new feature called portrait lighting. Now, this is beta, but it will ship with the iPhone 8 Plus. And here's how it works.
Remember, portrait shipped several months after the iPhone 7 Plus.
in the camera app using the portrait mode. The dual cameras in the ISP sense the scene. They create a depth map.
That's interesting.
They separate the subject from the background. And then using machine learning, it creates facial landmarks and actually changes the lighting of the contours over your face. And that happens while you're composing the shot.
So this was leaked.
That's some crazy processing.
And that's a lot of processing. And of course, having dual sensors.
Super easy to use. Yeah. Right when you're in the camera app, you use portrait
mode. There was speculation they were doing something with the
menu.
flashes, but no, this is done all in software.
Effect you want to use.
Wow.
You swipe to pick a different effect.
Is that on the 8 Plus and the 8?
That's what he said,
These
just the 8 Plus. Needs two lenses.
This is real-time analysis of the light on your subject's face. In fact, you can go in later, after you shot a portrait mode photo, into the Photos app and change the lighting effect.
Look, you could take the background out.
You want to use on your photograph.
Holy cow. But I don't think anybody's doing anything like that.
No, it's pretty far out.
The team has done an unbelievable job on this. And so here's an example of a photo that's taken.
I still have a high-resolution camera, but
portrait mode using portrait lighting.
Camera
it's
manufacturers
actually using the setting in portrait lighting for stage light, so it drops away the background to make this stunning, dramatic photograph.
I'm kind of curious what the sharpness of the edges look like.
Well, so that was the problem with portrait is if you really pixel peeped, it wasn't as good as, true bokeh. But it doesn't really matter because most people aren't pixel peeping. And
ever in a smartphone.
It fooled Vic Gundotra, so. It's good enough
my daughter has curly hair, so I notice it.
Yeah, that's right.
Along with the ISP, we have an Apple-designed video encoder. This enables faster frame rates and higher quality video. It does real-time image and motion
analysis really
to predict changes
the
in the
fruit of computational photography, and Apple is again taking the lead here. And this is where their future absolutely lies. You can only the optics can't change that much, but if you can do stuff like this in software, that's remarkable.
2 million of them, and we analyze the 2 million tiles every second, looking for details like texture.
This is where you use that A11
to predict whether that tile has grass, sky, water, or movement in it. So let's say you're shooting 4K 60 frame of video, it can look like this. It's beautifully optimized for quality and for compression level. And this video was shot on an iPhone in 4K. It's amazing.
But I have shot some incredible stuff for shows that we do with just my iPhone and a DJI
a lot better too. Now you can shoot
a gimbal
1080p HD,
Osmo.
240 frames a second.
Look at that.
That's double the frame rate of previous.
Again, that's not unique.
So now,
other camera phones do that.
Do we get 720p at 480 frames a second?
Come on. Of use of the camera that's going to become increasingly important in our mobile devices. And that's augmented reality.
All right, here we go, the AR pitch.
This is an incredible area for us to advance in. And our teams have worked together, hardware and software, to make iPhone the first iPhone really created for augmented reality and the first smartphone designed for it as well. We custom tune each iPhone for augmented reality. The cameras are actually individually calibrated in the factory, and that makes a huge difference in the performance for AR.
Each
There are
one?
new gyroscopes, new accelerometers, and ARKit software is tightly tuned to all this hardware to deliver the best experience for motion tracking. And AR greatly benefits from the new A11
I really feel like this is what
chip.
Google gave up by not having the Pixel, have all these features built in. They had Tango a year ago, and they didn't put it in.
Up to 60 frames a second. The new ISP does real-time lighting estimation. And this stuff is amazing that it happens on the device.
Most of these features are about AR.
So I want to show you some of the work that developers are starting to do with AR apps on iPhone 8.
Photography is just
a
side benefit.
It's a game, Warhammer 40K Freeblade from Pixel Toys. You can now use their photo mode to bring the Freeblade Knight into the real world and play it right where your friends are standing around you.
Because you're looking at the shadows on the
Here's another
ground there
from
and
Major
how
League Baseball's
well the
advanced media
feet meet
team.
the ground.
They're enhancing the at-bat app
impressive.
with ARKit so that when you're at the game, you can hold up your iPhone and see real-time player information and
But
stats.
as we've pointed out
on top of
before,
the
you
game
can't
you're watching.
necessarily trust these canned versions of it. You've got to see how it does it live.
Here's Sky Guide from Fifth Star Labs. You can use ARKit with this app to actually superimpose the
Neat.
map on top
That's
of the
neat.
sky
Look at that.
as you're looking at it around you. So this isn't some generic sky. This is the sky around you.
It'll be interesting to see how well that tracks. Because once you get past the trees, once you get past the trees, it's like I don't know what to grab onto.
Ground truth. Yeah, literal.
So now we want to show you an exciting AR app right here live on stage playing on an iPhone 8. It's from Directive Games.
Yeah, this is what you want to see.
This is a new startup based in
Real-time.
Shanghai. It's founded by developers who have worked on some of the biggest franchises in gaming. So please welcome Atlee Mar, CEO and co-founder of Directive
I expect
Games.
Google will have a response when they have their event in early October. It'd be interesting to see if they put this into the next Pixel. They ought
Earlier
to.
this summer, with the introduction of ARKit, Apple changed gaming
They just
forever.
don't have the installed base.
What we're
and
about
that's
to
the
show
thing.
you
Apple
is one of
is
the world's
turning
first
this on. Turns on
No,
a
we've
huge
seen
installed
that
base.
Google has opened up Core AR.
AR Core.
So AR Core, right? So that they can make it easier for people.
I think
to do
that's
it.
why that announcement happened.
Yeah,
In the
they had
game,
to.
players battle their friends in real time, either online or around the table in the same room. My friend and co-founder Andrea.
This is where
is
that
preparing a match
processor
for
makes a
us,
big difference.
where we play the
If you look at the
rebels
number, and now it's probably not a lot of polygons there. The texture
against
maps are really
the dominators.
doing most of the work.
Oh, look at the Dominators, though. Those are real.
What's really
This
cool
looks like fun.
is with ARKit and Metal 2 on the new iPhone, we are able to experience games in an entirely new way. Since players are able to view the game from any angle, our content has to be incredibly detailed.
So I think that
With the power of the new iPhone,
the fundamental
and
problem
Unreal
with these
support
demos,
for Metal 2,
which I think are very, very impressive, is I think playing a game like this would be really
an amazing 1.2 million polygons.
Tiring.
Like it just wouldn't, like it's not a casual thing. And so it's really great eye candy, but I'm not sure you'd actually want to use it that way. You play it.
Pokemon Go. People initially used the AR and then turned it off.
Yeah.
Now, shall we go into the game?
Yeah, this is like a Clash of Clans kind of battle game. I don't think it's a MOBA.
A lot of this will make more sense as
Maybe
they
it is.
move.
Actually, it is a
Our
MOBA.
position in the real world to gain a tactical advantage.
If we look at another
See,
that'd be a fun way to
year
play
down the
it.
road,
You
2
need a
years down the
visor.
road.
You need something on your
Yeah,
head.
exactly.
Something that would
The
have been hard to
eyeglasses
You don't have
are
to
what's
hold
going to
your-
make a difference.
Hold your.
It's like you're not just controlling the game, you're in the game. Right? Another awesome addition to the experience.
I mean, the issue you have is see the guy walking around. So you're playing this game, and where are you going to play it? Where you're going to walk around the table and go in and.
Right.
There are a lot of great use cases. We're doing a lot of work in AR. There's a lot of great use cases. I just don't think that games are actually, while they're really good eye candy, I don't think they're actually the best use case for AR.
And I don't look forward to a world where we see a lot of people like that
we're
guy
getting
on the
hit
right wandering through streets.
Yes. Deploy shields, protect our heroes. Now let's rain fire on our enemies, move closer to their base, and get ready for the fatal blow with our super weapon. Oh, the dropship is there. Can you take
I
it
will
up
admit
10
with
times?
Commodore Crunch that tabletop AR would be great for D&D.
Sure.
But I think you'd want to stand and you want to kind of just set it up like an iPad or an iPhone right in front of you.
Maybe that's what people
And then
do,
you can kind of play it.
It's interesting, though. You
What
can
you just
investigate
saw is
different
an
parts
amazing
of the
evolution in our
playing
games
field
played
by
and experienced,
moving around.
thanks to the combination of
We'll
AR
see.
and Metal 2 on the
It's pretty
brand new iPhone.
impressive.
We can't
It
wait.
looks great. And
Look for the
And
machines
frankly,
on
it's
episode this month.
I think
It's
more
actually-
interesting on an iPad maybe than it is on a
And it's
phone.
not hard to do. Like what they're doing isn't that difficult from an AR perspective.
Right.
All the graphics are all standard game
Well,
stuff.
and
then
notice
it's just-
that you don't see much of the table. Once
Right.
it's,
Thank you, Atlee.
It
Now-
is using that table though. You'll notice that they don't do it randomly on the floor.
Right.
It needs the corners of that table the way that it's currently working.
that the future is wireless. And boy, were we right. And that's becoming
I
more
think you
true
said
than ever
courage
before
is what you said.
with iPhone 8. It supports LTE Advanced for fast networking
I
connections.
wonder whether
Bluetooth
the
5.0 for the latest
doesn't
accessories.
have
Of course, it
the
supports
depth
our great
sensors
beloved
that the Edition may
AirPods
have,
and
or the X may
Beats
have.
headphones that use our W1
May have been
chip.
too expensive
And
because they didn't talk about it at all.
Studio 3s as well. And now with iPhone 8, with its glass back, we're enabling the freedom of wireless charging.
Sort of.
I want Tesla
this
style,
is a
where you just
simple
walk into
thing.
your house
We do
and it's
this
like
every
charging.
day. We use our phones in the day and we charge them at night.
Once again, something
Often on a
Apple was
charger
very
by
slow
our
to market
bedstand
with,
in our
and
homes
everybody
or in our
else has been
hotels.
offering for some time.
And words can't describe just how much nicer it is to just put it down and pick it up
And
whenever you want to
very
charge.
similar. You know, it's
without ever
not
having to plug in.
untethered. It's not floating through the room. It's just like everybody else. You put it on a puck.
You just don't have to raise your hand and put a plug in it.
Wireless charging. You want to do it in an airport so you can top up your charge before you get on the next flight. And perhaps the best
This
use
is
case
the,
of
we
all,
actually have a triangulation about this
you can get into your car, wirelessly
gallium
connect,
nitride
and start
technology
using
that allows you to
CarPlay,
make these
put your
charging
iPhone in the
tables
center
and things like that.
console, and it's charging all without ever having
It'd be
to
nice
plug
if
in
cars
a
start
cable
to
again.
build this in. Will
What makes
Apple
this
use a
possible
standard as a
is we're
question?
building into iPhone 8.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the
8
Prius has it built in for an Android phone.
It's Qi. That's good.
Qi is the
So
leading
they are
openness
using the
wireless
standard, which is
charging
important.
standard. And we hope to help Qi by
There's
increasing
no car is going
adoption
to
of
build
it
proprietary
and
Apple
creating
wireless
new
charging.
use cases for it. Many restaurants, shops, airports, cars have started to build in support for Qi.
If it's Qi, it means,
wireless
by the way,
charging,
that you're
and
able to
they'll
use
work
any
with
wireless
iPhone 8.
charging phone. They all support the
And
Qi.
one of the big things for
companies
this,
are
for a lot of
offering
these
Qi
locations, is the
And those that are
issue is,
certified should all work with
you know,
iPhone
Starbucks try to do a whole bunch of different
We've
ways of
worked with
doing charging,
some
but people would take the
developers
cables or they take the little tokens.
No,
So
no.
being able to have something
You
just
use
built into the table
table,
that all you got to do is set it down is just for these kind of companies, it makes all the difference. It's not so much for home. It's more when you're at the hotel, they don't have to expose something or anything else. And also
that's iPhone 8. It's a new
it's much
generation of
safer.
iPhone.
You're not sitting there passing data back,
everything we
potentially
love
data back and forth when you plug into the
It is
USB.
packed with innovative technologies, from the glass and aluminum design to the Retina HD displays, the new A11 Bionic chip.
I want you to feel still good about the iPhone 8, even though they're about to show you the other phone.
Well, that's what
we did a
puzzling
good
to me
job,
about
and
all of this.
And you'll feel great with this one.
This is the one you're going to want to buy, and I presume the price will be affordable, be close to the original, the
Now,
iPhone
iPhone
7
7
price.
came in these three configurations, starting at 32 gigabytes. We're really happy to tell you iPhone 8 is going to start with twice the capacity of
double.
64 gigabytes, and have a second one at 256
So it'll be 64
gigabytes.
and 256, no 512.
People went one way or the other.
$699 for 64. That's a good price, I think.
iPhone 8 Plus will have the same two configurations, 64 gigabytes and 256
I think, yeah, you either want the
gigabytes.
cheapest one you
It
can
will
get,
price
or you're going to go all the
starting
way
at
to 256. I don't.
$799.
From
We'll be able
$7.99
to
for the
pre-order
Plus.
them
So these are
starting
the
this
same
Friday on
same
September
prices
15th,
as last year.
and they'll be available a week later on September 22nd. And we can all upgrade to iOS 11 starting on September 19th.
iOS 11, September 19th
So that
official.
is iPhone 8. I'd like to turn it back to Tim.
So in other words, in 1 week.
Really say one more thing. Really say it. Nope, there it is.
iPhone 8, a new generation of iPhone, and a huge step forward. But we're not stopping there. We do have one more thing.
We haven't used that for a long time.
Yeah.
What is the Steve
We have
Jobs
great respect for these words, and we don't use them lightly. Our teams have been hard at work for years on something that is important to all of us: the future of the smartphone. The first iPhone revolutionized a decade of technology and changed the world in the process. Now, 10 years later, it is only fitting that we are here in this place on this day to reveal a product that will set the path for technology for the next decade.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And it will explain the price.
Innovation.
So now we're seeing the first official shots of the iPhone next.
It's a person. He's going to walk around, just talk to you.
It does have a vertical camera sensor, as the leaks predicted. Glass back. Full-size bezel. It's got the ears. This is all exactly as predicted. No touch sensor. And it is going to be called the X. It is going to be called the X. I didn't believe it. Is it X or 10? Let's see what the... Tim says.
Whatever it is, you'll look silly saying the other thing.
I've said them both. So.
This is iPhone 10.
10.
It is the biggest leap forward since the original iPhone. And to tell you all about it, I'd like to invite Phil back up.
So
Phil?
far, exactly what we saw in the
Thank you, Tim.
mock-ups, the pre-releases. Yep.
I think you can imagine there are a lot of people at Apple that didn't get much sleep last night preparing for this. This is so exciting. And it is all screen. It is beautiful to look at. It is incredible to hold. The display fits edge to edge, top to bottom. It goes into each corner where it follows the tight curve of the design. It has glass on both the front and the back, using the same super strong formula as iPhone 8. The band is made from a surgical grade stainless steel that's both durable and polishes to a beautiful finish. And look how the glass and the stainless steel form a continuous surface from front to back. There has never been anything
It's
like
that curved glass, somewhat like the Samsung Galaxy.
It's engineered to be water and dust resistant at a microscopic level. It comes in two beautiful finishes, space gray
Only two colors.
and silver. Each has an incredible depth
There were
and a
rumors about
pearlescence
a
to
gold.
the color in the glass.
No rose gold.
It wasn't called
iPhone
rose
10
gold. It
has
had
an
a funny-
all-new display. It's
funny
called
name.
Blush.
the
Blush.
Super Retina display.
Oh, that's got to be better than Retina.
It's taking it up to 11.
The level of quality and responsiveness and efficiency is really quite a breakthrough in mobile displays. To start with, the Super Retina display is 5.8 inches on the diagonal. It's got 2436 by 1125 resolution. That's over 2.7 million pixels. It has 458 pixels per inch. Now, this is the highest resolution
That is a very high
and pixel
DPI.
density ever in an iPhone. And it's remarkable how this larger display can be packed into a phone that fits so comfortably in our hands. The Super Retina display uses OLED technology. Now, this is the first OLED display great enough to be in an iPhone.
Oh.
Traditional OLED
Well,
displays
now.
have had great benefits, like high contrast and resolution.
That's one way
No
of
backlight
explaining it.
means you can make them thinner. But they came with trade-offs in brightness and rich colors and color accuracy, at least compared to our Retina displays. But the Super Retina display overcomes all of these deficiencies and lives up to all that we expect from an iPhone display.
Okay, that's marketing hype.
In
But
addition, the new Super Retina display supports HDR in both the Dolby Vision and HDR10 formats. It has an incredible 1,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio. It has the best color accuracy. It integrates our unique 3D touch technology right into the display.
Needs a color
oh, wait a
icon.
minute, hold
iPhone
on.
8
Oh,
includes
3D touch,
True
not
Tone.
Touch ID. Shoot.
Now, all this
You're
innovative
gonna stick with
Super
3D
Retina
touch,
display
huh?
technology is great, but it's the point of it that matters. And the point of it is to enable an entirely new experience that's more fluid, more intuitive. So let's start with the simplest thing. How do you wake up your iPhone 10? Well, certainly you can raise to wake just like before, but now you can also just tap on the screen and it wakes up.
A much beloved feature of the Motorola X.
Now, with the display going edge
3
to
years
edge and
ago.
top to bottom, there's no more home button. And this is an important part and a big step forward in the iPhone user experience.
Forward.
Something we use hundreds of times a day for so many tasks is an opportunity to rethink how iPhone should work and how we can make it better. So now, when you want to go to the home screen, you simply swipe up from the bottom and you go home. It's that simple. It's that easy. It's incredibly smooth. And once you do it for the first time, you'll know there's never been a better way. And it works the same way across the system. You're running an app like Mail and you want to go home, what do? You simply swipe up from the bottom and you go home. It's that easy and that intuitive and so much nicer. Now, the same fluid gesture also works for multitasking. So if you're in an app and you want to multitask, you just swipe up from the bottom, you pause for a split second, and you're in multitasking.
Okay, this is the
And then you can
iOS
tap on any
11
app,
features, of
and
course,
jump
that
right
we've seen.
to it.
What I
We
will
also
say
use
is
the home button for
it's not
Siri.
that Apple invents all
How
this
are
stuff,
we
but
gonna
they
do
do make
that?
it run a
Well,
lot
of course,
smoother.
you can just
Like
speak
it's just
to your
all
phone
those
as before
little
and
tiny
say,
details.
Hey Siri. No, I didn't set anyone's phones off. Or you can now press the side button in, which has been made larger Once you press it in, you can just talk to Siri.
So it has its own Bixby button.
I know what you're thinking about. Well, what about unlocking? How do you unlock your phone with iPhone 10? I mean, this has been a very important part of the iPhone user experience from the very beginning. The first iPhone, we led the way with multi-touch, and we created slide to unlock. And this protected the iPhone from turning on when you didn't want it to, like in your pocket. Starting with iPhone 5S, we invented Touch ID. We made it fast and easy to protect all your data and unlock your phone with just your fingerprint. And Touch ID became the gold standard in consumer device biometric protection. But we know we can do something that's better. With iPhone 10, your iPhone is locked until you look at it and it recognizes you. Nothing has ever been simpler, more natural, and effortless. We call this Face ID. So Face ID is the future of how we will unlock our smartphones and protect our sensitive information. To make Face ID possible, it took some of the most advanced technology we have ever created. And much of it is packed right up here into this tiny little area at the top of the display. We call this the True Depth Camera System. And it is made up of incredible state-of-the-art technology. There's an infrared camera, a flood illuminator, the front side camera, and a dot projector. And that's not all. There's also the proximity sensor, the ambient light sensor,
and
the speaker microphone, all packed into this True Depth
wedge
camera
cut out of the
system
screen
area.
at the top.
It is
packed a lot
amazing.
in there.
Yeah. I presume
how
that
it
a
works.
flood illuminator and dot
Every time
projector
you glance at your iPhone
well,
10,
we'll see
it
here.
detects your face with the flood illuminator, even in the dark.
So that's going to be infrared or...
The IR camera takes an IR image. The dot projector projects out over 30,000 invisible IR dots.
Used to have to draw those on my face, I remember.
Yes, I did that.
Yes.
What was it? 15 years ago, I think we put dots on
Don't have to do it anymore.
And we push them
Just needed a dot projector
neural
all this time.
networks to create a mathematical model of your face. And then we check that mathematical model against the one that we've stored that you set up earlier to see if it's a match and unlock your phone. And this all happens in real time. It all happens invisibly. You don't see these things going off. It's incredible. It just all works and all happens. To create Face ID, we work
and remember
with
that Apple
thousands of
bought
people
a
around
facial,
the world.
animation company as well. So being able to have all this 3D data could open up a lot of opportunities for animation as well.
And to process the machine learning in Face ID's neural networks, we built Apple's first ever neural engine. Yeah, this is a big deal. In our pockets, in our phones, is an A11 Bionic chip with a built-in neural engine to process face recognition. Now, the neural engine is specialized hardware built for a specific set of machine learning algorithms. This is another example of the incredible collaboration between the hardware and software teams that's only possible at Apple. The neural engine is a state-of-the-art ultra-fast processing system. It uses our highest density computing ever. It's a dual-core design. It can perform over 600 billion operations per second, and it's used to the real-time processing of Face ID.
This is the DSP chip of the 21st
But for all
century.
of
Everybody's
us, it's
got
just
one now.
super easy.
You kind of have to have it.
I got one in my pocket
Set
now.
up
I will.
Face ID, you just follow the on-screen instructions, and it tells you how to move your head around in the camera.
Building a 3D
so
scan
Face ID
of
can
your
recognize
head.
your face. And that's it. You do that once when you set it up. And Face ID learns
Alex, would
your
glasses
face.
fool it, or would
Even
you?
if you change your hairstyle, you decide to put on glasses, you're wearing a hat, so you
one
do
thing-
it up any way
Windows
you do it.
Hello does not
Face
handle
ID
those conditions very
learns
well.
your
Right.
face.
Oh, really?
It learns who you are. And it adapts to you as your face changes over time. Let's say you
Oh,
start
that's
to grow a
interesting.
beard.
It continues to learn.
It works in day, it works at night.
So it's
And the teams work
resampling this
hard
constantly. It's not a fixed
Make sure
sample.
the Face ID can easily be spoofed by things like photographs.
Samsung's
They've even
CAD.
gone and worked with professional mask makers and makeup artists in Hollywood to protect against these attempts to beat Face ID.
Oh,
These are
interesting.
actual masks used by
Wow.
the engineering team to train the
I thought
neural
those were
networks
Arias.
to protect against them in Face ID.
I wish those
incredible.
masks had leaked.
The teams worked
would have
hard
been really
to protect
great to
your
have
face
Aria
data.
come out and talk
It
about,
has no name.
talk about the Face ID. That would have been.
That's okay, but that is an issue because the Chaos Computer Club was able to crack S8's
Your face
face
data is
recognition
protected
using
with a secure enclave and
picture.
A11 Bionic chip. All the processing is done on iPhone 10 and not
Apple's
sent
privacy,
to a server.
Of course.
We require user attention to unlock. That means if your eyes are closed, you're looking away, it's not going to unlock.
So
Now,
close your eyes
how do
if
we
the
compare
police
that
hold
to
your
Touch
phone up to
ID?
you.
How secure is it? Well, there's no perfect system, not even biometric ones. But as we said earlier, Touch ID is the gold standard for consumer device biometric protection. And the data for Touch ID has been 1 in 50,000, meaning that the chance that a random person could use their fingerprint to unlock your iPhone has been about 1 in 50,000, and it's been great. So what are the similar statistics for Face ID?
Wow.
1 in a million. The chance that a random person in the population could look at your iPhone 10 and unlock it with their face is about 1 in a million.
Of course, you could still, and I would encourage you to use a
the
passcode
statistics are
or
lower if that
passphrase if you
person
really want to
shares a
secure your
close
phone.
genetic
Yep,
relationship
that's
with
still
you.
a better way to do it.
So, for example, if you happen to have an evil twin, you really need to protect your passcode with your sensitive data with a passcode. Hopefully, you don't.
Or just
Face ID also
Any
works with Apple.
Any twin will do.
So to pay for things, you just
You,
double
as the
tap
mother of
the
twins,
button on the side. You look at
understand
iPhone 10 to authenticate and hold it near the payment terminal to pay. It's that easy, fast, intuitive, simple. Face ID also works with third-party apps. Third-party apps already support Touch ID, and they'll work with Face ID.
This is
So
making
apps like
taking lemons and making lemonade. Apple wanted to put Touch ID in this phone. Couldn't get it to work, according to the Wall Street Journal.
So Face ID.
So it's face lemonade.
Face authentication for unlocking your iPhone and protecting your sensitive data.
But
uses
it's,
the
I
innovative
think they've made a
3D
strong
camera
case why it
system.
might be better. We'll have to see,
It's
of course.
trained with neural networks. It's easy to set up. It learns your face, and it adapts to your
Sometimes
face
Plan
over
B
time.
is the better plan.
It's aware of your attention.
I'm always worried that it
works
won't
with
open.
Apple
I guess you
Pay,
can always use the,
and it works with third-party apps.
password.
This TrueDepth camera system is incredible technology, and it's going to enable so many great new user experiences. The first one, of course, is Face ID. But the team decided to create another great experience with it as well.
This is going to be
This is
fun.
a fun one. It has to do
This
with
is also rumored.
emojis.
Yeah.
And we use emojis to communicate with others and to express emotion.
Animated
but of course,
emojis
you
that
can't
can
customize emojis.
react to your
They
facial
only have a
features.
limited amount of expressiveness to them. So our team created something called Animoji. These are animated emojis.
Here come the
These are
Animoji X.
emojis that you control with your face. Animojis track more than 50 facial muscle movements.
That's cool.
They've been meticulously
What's interesting is
animated
if,
to create amazing
for someone doing
expressiveness.
games or let's say a little feature film, you could actually, if they let you have this in the API, actually animate with your phone.
The way you create
do all the
share
facial
an
animation.
emoji are right from within Apple Messages.
Think what Andy Serkis could do with this.
Yeah, exactly.
You said a little late. Where are you?
See, I think that's awesome.
You can pick from a dozen different
My
animated
daughter is
emojis
I know that
go.
seems
to share,
silly, but like
express
photo booths,
whatever you
this is
want
going to be the
express
feature that
for
sells 1 million iPhone 10s.
I'm not ashamed to say I will enjoy this.
Yeah,
And we'll use it.
and Snapchat
So
will
iPhone
too.
10 is packed with innovative technologies that enable new user experiences. I'm really excited to invite out Craig Federici to show you iPhone 10 and what it's like to use it for the very first time. Craig?
Hey everybody. Wow, well, I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to give all of you your first live look at iPhone 10. This is a phone we've been dreaming about for a long time, but the reality of it in your hand, it's really something epic. So let's take a look.
This is what Steve, of
Here
course, did
is
so well.
iPhone 10. Now, unlocking it
I think Craig's
is
a
as
good
easy
choice
as
to
looking
fill
at
those
it
shoes.
and swiping up. And, you know, let's try that again.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Let's go to backup here.
So now the code has popped up. His face is
And get
apparently
right
not
in.
enough to unlock it.
So here we are, and you see this expansive display.
That's a
It's
hard
just a
one.
beautiful canvas for
No, it
all of
didn't
your
work.
content and your gestures. And I'm just going to go
What everybody's worried
into
about.
the weather app here. You can just see how apps look when they take advantage of the edge-to-edge display. Now, exiting an app couldn't be easier. You just swipe from the bottom, just like this, and throw the
Now,
app
normally
right
that
back on the home screen.
that
Let
wedge
me do
has
that
the
again.
time, but see, they've moved the time over to the left.
Swipe right up. Let's take a look at the web. It just looks unbelievable, edge to edge on this display. And your photos, of course, are just gorgeous as well. Let's jump into
Sure, where the
this one.
carrier will put their
Just
information on that. That's normally where the carrier info goes.
Now, video, of course, is unbelievable on the Super Retina display. It looks great in portrait and in landscape.
It's kind of like your grandfather when you give him his first OLED phone, and he says, "Wow, that really looks good." Yeah. You know, we've had these for a while now.
Now, Phil told you a little bit about multitasking on the device. Let me show you. I'm just going to jump into Maps. And if I want to move between my applications, I can just swipe up and stop, and my other apps all come in. I can get at them.
Will we get used to that? Those ears?
Lift. It's just.
I think so. It is a little annoying.
It's annoying now, but I think we will get used to it.
It reminds me of the flat tire on the Moto 360 that people complain about. Never really did get used to.
It's really easy. Now, you may be wondering about Control Center, and worry not. Right where your status indicators are in the upper right-hand corner, you can just swipe down and get at Control Center from anywhere. It's that easy.
This is the iOS 11 feature, but it's a swipe down from the top for the Control Center.
Because unlocking your phone is just amazingly intuitive.
Let's do it one more time and see if it works.
Look at it, and swipe right up to get started.
But he had to be a little bit more deliberative about it.
Yeah, I think he had the wrong angle. And in a theater, it's especially hard because you have all these lights, so it probably could have picked up a light.
So I'm just going to do that again. Just raise it, look at it, swipe. I don't have to wait. And it's also
It's interesting.
really,
You do
really
also
smart.
have to
So let's say
swipe.
I
It
wake
doesn't
my
just
phone,
unlock. You still
and
have
I'm
to
not
swipe.
looking at it.
Which is, I think, a safety
stays
feature.
locked. But once I give it my attention, well, it unlocks, and I can get right in. It's really cool.
Not
Now,
quite as
Face ID
magical
is also great
as we
for
might have
Apple
hoped.
Pay. So if I'm at the register, I can just double-click on the side button. I'm authenticated.
But I have to say, better
get
than
in
what Samsung
just
has
like
been able
that.
to do.
Now,
Or
the true depth
Microsoft
camera
with
behind
Windows Hello.
Face ID isn't just about authentication. In fact, we've extended ARKit with some incredible new face tracking capabilities
Okay, get ready,
to
'cause
provide
this
a
is
whole
gonna
new
be
class
creepy.
of augmented reality experiences. Now, we've been working on
Just in time for Halloween.
Creepier than the Hall of Masks?
Yeah.
So I'm going to launch in. You see it builds a mesh of my face, and now I can
Man
just
has
select
no
a
name.
mask.
Oh, geez.
And look at the.
It's very Snapchat-y.
registration
The
is very
nose
good.
is not good. The
The
registration of the
tracking
nose is
is
not
just
good.
unreal. Let's check out this one.
Wait, he's using Snapchat?
No. Is he?
Now,
Yeah.
look at the detail
Oh.
over the eyes.
These are Snapchat filters?
Incredible
Yeah.
metallic
It is Snapchat, isn't
reflections.
it?
The quality of the tracking, it's just stunning.
Stunning's one word. Horrifying, another.
I'm so glad he likes
Now, of
Snapchat
course,
as much
many
as
of
I
us
do.
like to communicate with emojis.
So that means that
And when
those technologies are going to be made
now
available
breathe
to
our
extra.
Apparently,
Like
Snapchat's
personality
adapted it
into our
already, yeah.
Which
New
means-
AR
It's available as
filters.
an app right inside
Again, I
of
think there's going to be a poor
Messages.
man's
Just go
like
right
doing
in here,
facial
and it
animation
immediately
for.
starts tracking me, so I can make whatever
And
expression
imagine
I want,
how left out you're going to feel
and just pick that up and use
if
it
you
as
don't
a sticker,
have the new
drop it on my
iPhone 10.
message like that. We also let you manipulate these in
Or
full
will this
screen.
work on the
You can audition your favorites
iPhone
and
8?
some really great ones, like the kitty cat.
Well, it
so
can't.
expressive
Well, maybe it can.
and
Maybe not
ferocious.
as well. I
Not
think
as
this
well.
is.
I mean, it's not that
It's a
different
happy
from a
puppy.
Snapchat.
Check out the physics in
It's
the
a lot
ears.
more accurate.
The pig. We've got a chicken.
Oh, Lord.
I love this.
And
This is okay.
mythical creature.
That's a meme right there. I hate to tell you, but Craig, you're going to be all over the internet with that one. Oh, he gets to be
Oh,
poop.
they cut away from the poop.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's not poop. That's delicious
If you were
soft
by
serve ice
chance
cream.
wondering what
Chocolate.
humanity would do when given access to the most advanced facial tracking technology available, you now have your answer. Now, these can be so much fun, you're going to want to share them. Unfortunately,
Well,
we like
I
to
think we now
record
know these
messages.
are the
I'm
end
going to record a
times,
message
ladies and
here
gentlemen.
for Tim. Hey, Tim, I'm not sure what the protocol is here, but I'd like to call dibs on the fox for my favorite emoji. Which one do you like? Hey, Tim, I'm not sure what the protocol is here, but I'd like to call dibs on the fox for my favorite emoji. Which one do you like?
Better than Dev Null
Now,
was.
you
in
can
the day.
send it with just a tap, and it appears as a looping video right inside the transcript. If we're really lucky for our grand finale, we might just get a response back from Tim.
Oh, he's an alien.
Oh, here it is. Let's take a look.
Take me to your leader. Wait a minute, Craig. I am your leader. Let's wrap this thing up.
I want the whole next keynote to be in those emoji. I think we should do all our shows in
we've
emoji.
spent a lot of money on tools to do what that's doing in a phone. That's all I want to say. Is like
at the new
that's
iPhone 10 and the amazing
really
experience
cool.
with the True Depth camera and Animoji. I think you're going to love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Craig. Now let's talk about the amazing
Phil
cameras
Schiller back.
in iPhone 10.
Phil loves talking cameras.
iPhone 10 has dual 12 megapixel sensors, dual cameras, both a faster sensors, wider sensors, just like in iPhone 8.
Little faster aperture
color
on the
filters,
telephoto.
Deeper pixels. There's an f1.8 aperture on the wide-angle camera and a faster f2.4 aperture on the telephoto. So that lets in 36% more light to the telephoto camera. But the big news on the camera in the iPhone 10 is it has dual optical image stabilization. That means there's OIS on both the wide angle and the telephoto lens. That's a lot of magnets moving around in a very small space, but
Makes
it
me
helps
think that the 8
with
does not have
compensating
that.
for
The 8 Plus
handshake
does
and
not
to
have
take
that.
better photos and videos in low light.
That is something.
There's also a better
makes a big
quad
difference.
LED two-tone flash that has twice the uniformity of light on our subjects.
I
So
will
let's look
admit
at
it's
some
going to put a
photos
lot of
taken
pressure on
from the
people to
backside
buy
camera on
the
iPhone
10
10.
is because their friends are going to start sending them those little animations, and they're
Great
going to
dynamic
mark out.
range, detail, low noise.
Face Shift is the company that
Right.
they bought.
Israeli company. Yes.
No, that's Real Face, I think.
Now, there's
Face
Zero
Shift they
Shutter
bought
Lab
years
that
ago.
helps
This
you
is
freeze
what happens. You don't know what
motion
Apple's
to get a
doing.
photo
They
like
bought it in 2015,
Right.
but it does just animation. So all that emoji technology, and it gives you a sense of how long Apple works on. It's been working on this.
Performance, so now you can get incredible low light images like this with the telephoto camera as
Quite-
well as the
quite a
wide
nice
angle.
picture.
And iPhone 10 is fantastic for the portrait mode feature that we all love. In iPhone 10, you can get great portrait modes, especially in lower light. And iPhone 10 supports the brand new portrait lighting feature as well.
That's going to be really interesting.
Again, a photo taken right off of iPhone 10, not
that's
retouched
really
in any way, with a stage lighting
kind of
effect
stunning.
dropping out the background.
I'm curious what that black looks like. What the edge looks like, but I think that otherwise we'll use it a lot. I'm sure.
iPhone 10 is great for photos. It's amazing for 4K video.
And you can animate
like
poop.
iPhone 8, it's tuned for AR applications. There's factory calibrated cameras, the new gyroscope, accelerometer, the performance advantages of the A11 Bionic chips CPU, GPU, and ISP. And ARKit is tuned for iPhone 10. Now, the backside camera that we use so much is not the only camera, of course, on the iPhone. We have our front side camera as well, and people love to use those for taking selfie photographs. And now with iPhone 10 and its True Depth camera, it really delivers a breakthrough into the photos you can take for selfies.
Poop emoji selfies.
Because now with selfies, you can take portrait mode photos as well.
Oh, wow. That's a big change.
And it also supports
think they talked about that
portrait
before.
lighting all through the front side True Depth
So
camera.
it doesn't need the dual lenses to do these effects.
Not with the 3D, because it's got a 3D sensor.
People
So
are
it is
blown
using an
away
effect,
with the selfies you can
another
take
sensor.
Right.
with the iPhone 10. This is absolutely beautiful.
Wow, portrait mode
Of course,
selfies.
everything we've seen is
How
powered
did we
in
survive
iPhone
with
10
that?
by the amazing new A11 Bionic chip.
But most selfies are I'm here at a location, and so
But
they
it's
want to see
worth
the background. Yeah.
Hitting on the highlights again because there has never been anything like it.
Most of your
64-bit, 6-core design, 4.3 billion transistors, 2 high-performance cores, 4 high-efficiency cores, our new second-generation performance controller that uses all 6 cores at once, our first Apple-designed graphics
What's your bet on the
processing
price?
unit,
$1,200?
brand new ISP
Starting
that improves
at-
autofocus. the
I
video
want to say
quality-
$9.99 starting,
I think
but
you're
I
right.
think
I think
I think they
you're
want to
Starting
be
at
under that.
$9.99.
Yeah, I think that they want to be under 1,000, but I think the top one will be either 12 or 1,300.
Our Face ID data.
And there's not a big or
All this
small one, it's
performance,
just one
I'm
size.
Sure, as you expect,
Right.
does come with a hit to battery life.
Uh-oh.
So I think it's important to tell you that we've increased it.
Oh.
It lasts. Yes.
His delivery was a little off there.
Again,
Charging my phone all the time.
hardware and software teams work really hard to deliver 2 more hours of all-day battery life to us. So, wireless. Just like iPhone 8, iPhone 10 is also built for a wireless world. It has Qi charging through the glass back, and it will work with the Qi charging devices, like the ones that we mentioned earlier from Mophie and Belkin. It'll also work with third-party Qi devices that are Qi certified. And there are a lot of great
What if it
devices
work
that are
with
going to
the
start to come to
Samsung
market,
fast Qi
particularly because of
charging
iPhone 8
that
and
comes
iPhone
with the
10.
Note 8?
But we also think we can
I'm
make
just wondering
the
how
wireless
many
charging
more versions they'll have
experience
even
even better.
a lightning cable.
So our team wants to create something.
No, they
I
haven't
think
shown it
all of
once.
us
It's
would
there,
wanna
I'm sure,
use
but
and it might actually help move the entire industry forward. So we're going to give you a sneak peek of this idea right now. I'm sure many of you do this. I do this. I have a lot of Apple products. I love them. I use them all day long. I charge them at night. You plug in your cables, you plug in your chargers. You take those cables and chargers with you on the road when you travel. We think we have an idea of how to make this a better experience. And here it is.
What?
It's a mat that you place your iPhone 8 or iPhone 10 down, and it just starts to charge. And it's a beautiful new interface.
I have one of those.
It doesn't stop there. You can place your Series 3 Apple Watch down on it, and it starts to charge as well.
Can you put your AirPods on?
Oh, here it comes. There's a gap there.
And you can place your AirPods with the optional new wireless charging case on it, and it starts to charge as well.
You need a new case for your AirPods.
They all charge.
I knew it. You need a new case.
Optional.
Optional.
For only
wireless case optional.
This system has a great interface. They intelligently work together and communicate with each other to manage the charging through one more efficient charging system. This is not possible with current standards, but our team knows how to do this.
That's
we call
not
it
true.
AirPower.
That's not true. I have a cheap power mat.
Can you charge more than one thing on it?
Yes.
That encourages others to create more advanced solutions based on technology like this.
All
We're
you have
going
to
to
do
be
is put
working with the
multiple-
Chief Standards team to incorporate these benefits into the future of the standards to make wireless charging
Thank
better
God Apple
for
invented
everyone.
that.
So look for the AirPower charger next year.
They'll invent
so
it next year.
iPhone 10 is the future of the smartphone. It is packed with many innovative features.
Well, I don't see a clear iPhone in here, so I think I don't have to.
They add up to a
buy
new,
Scoble
better
lunch.
experience.
Does he owe you lunch now?
You win.
We're so excited about iPhone 10.
I got to learn how to
We
bet
created
because I always
a
forget
beautiful
that
video
part.
to tell you all about it.
Then you have to bet hard. You'd be like, we're going to go to French Laundry and I can order any wine I want.
For more than a decade, our intention has been to create an iPhone that is all display. A physical object that disappears into the experience.
You should have said, they finally let me off the leash.
Yeah.
This
back from
is
my
iPhone
Stop
10.
telling me how expensive everything was and just said, do it.
Developing the form and display together defines a whole new integration, making the boundary between the device and the screen hard to discern.
Again, every phone you buy in
The custom
2018,
OLED panel was engineered
every flagship
to fold
phone
and
will have this.
seamlessly combine
This
with the
is
external
the future of
surfaces.
phones. We've already seen numerous
Mechanical buttons
bezel-less
give way
phones.
to touch and gestures. There's no home button. A single swipe takes you to the home screen.
Obviously, the home
A
button
more
was
responsive
a point
touch
of contention
system
for
means
Mr.
the
I.
gestures in iOS 11 are more fluid. The polished stainless steel band reinforces the water-resistant all-glass design. This new glass formulation, the most
right away
durable
for this.
ever in a smartphone, enables for the first time wireless charging. Our new True Depth camera system, contained within this tiny space, uses extraordinary
not that
depth sensing
tiny.
technology to let you unlock your phone with a glance.
Even when wet.
We call this Face ID. It maps the unique geometry of your face with over 30,000 invisible dots.
They chose still not, they're
is
not competing with
analyzed by
Tango,
the
so
neural
Tango's still outwardly, doing the same thing.
The first of its kind. Your iPhone now recognizes you, even in the dark, and will adapt to your physical changes. This makes your face your secure password. So with just a look, you can authenticate your phone or use Apple Pay.
I think they should have set
The
it up so
True
if you
Depth
look, you had to look at the phone and go like
also
this.
enables new experiences.
Look at you. Look at you, man.
Like bringing emojis to life by mapping more than 50
Johnny did not
facial
want to do this.
muscles in real time. So you can be happy.
Johnny
or
said,
sad,
I'm not going to be the
or
poop.
cross.
Oh, crap.
Both the front and rear-facing cameras now have portrait mode, and for the first time you can actually define the light in a scene. Based on fundamental photographic principles, portrait lighting produces the effect of real studio lighting. On the back, the dual camera system is completely redesigned. It's made even smarter by the A11 Bionic chip. With machine learning, the camera detects elements in the scene to optimize the image.
They said it's water resistant, but they didn't give us a number of feet.
No,
they
didn't say IP and IP.
The camera we use every day now delivers so much more. And as iOS becomes the world's largest platform for augmented reality, it will redefine what's possible.
$9.99 the starting price.
This is iPhone 10.
So it is under 1,000.
From 99.
From. There's Waz and Janet.
The team works hard to make iPhone 8 and iPhone 10 in the most environmentally friendly manner possible. They have arsenic-free display glass, mercury-free displays.
Available November 3rd. Pre-order October 27th. So this is delayed.
Carbon process for their aluminum
October 27th order date.
They're highly recyclable with their materials. Really proud of that list, so I like to say it every time. iPhone 10 also comes in 2 configurations, 64 gigs
so
and
$9.99 for
256
64, presumably $1,100
$9.99
for the
You can order it
256.
starting on October 27th, and they begin to ship on November 3rd. So this is the future of the smartphone shipping this year. So this is our lineup for the holidays. Now, every year we say it's a great lineup for the holidays, and it is. But this year is really special.
So the SE remains, which is good news, at $349.
iPhone 7.
They are going to continue selling S6s for $450. iPhone 7s. They're going to have the largest line of iPhones they've ever had. Continuing to sell all the iPhones,
which takes
going
a lot
back
of,
to the 6S.
Lot of oxygen out of the system. You can keep on making more expensive ones when you can start. Which I'm really glad because I just lost my SE.
From Wayne Gretzky.
Well, and you like a headphone jack, so you can still get a 6S.
Skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been. Steve said that's what
so
Apple
iPhones
does.
ranging from $349 to $999.
Actually, well, $349 and whatever the high end of the X.
Yeah, $1,100 probably.
And all of them won't be available to order till October 27th.
You can stay on the full screen. I want to see what
10
is.
is.
So.
iPhone 10, this really is the future. We've made a great, fun new ad that I'd love to show it to you.
We're going to do an ad while he does an ad. You can watch this ad while I talk about our sponsor today, Rocket Mortgage from Quicken Loans. Quicken Loans, the best lender in the country, realized the mortgage experience wasn't keeping up with the times. It was dated. It needed a client-focused technological revolution. That's why Quicken Loans created an entirely online mortgage approval process. They call it Rocket Mortgage. Gives you the confidence you need when buying a house or refinancing an existing home loan. It's easy, it's convenient, it's powerful, and it takes minutes. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Go to rocketmortgage.com/twit. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLS consumeraccess.org, number 3030. Rocketmortgage.com/twit. We thank them for their support of our TWiT Live Special.
So what a morning we've had.
What a
Apple
morning.
Watch Series 3 with cellular, which gives you the freedom to go anywhere you want with or without your iPhone. Apple TV 4K brings the magic of the cinema straight to your living room with incredible 4K and HDR content. iPhone 8, a beautiful glass design, incredible cameras, wireless charging, A11 Bionic chip, and of course, powerful AR capabilities. We think you're going to love it. An iPhone 10, the most advanced iPhone we've ever made. The incredible new design, Face ID, true depth camera system, and more powerful technologies than we've ever put in an iPhone before. It really is the future of the smartphone. And we begin this morning with some inspiring words from Steve. One of the ways that I believe people express their appreciation to the rest of humanity is to make something wonderful and put it out there. We work really hard at Apple to create wonderful things, and we hope you love what we've introduced today. I think Steve would be really proud of them. I'd like to thank everyone at Apple who made today possible. I'd like everybody in Apple to stand up that are here representing their teams from hardware and software and services. Please stand up, and operations. Our amazing retail employees. And everyone that worked so hard on this theater and on Apple Park. One of the great things about this theater is an unbelievable hands-on area. It is the most beautiful hands-on area we've ever had by far. And I would encourage all of you to join us there and get your hands on these wonderful products. Thank you so much for spending the morning with us. Thank you.
And there you have it. As exactly as rumored, the new products from Apple. And I'm happy to say I have in my hands the new iPhone 10. I'm very thrilled. It just arrived in the mail.
The audacity that you would open your Note 8 in front of your Surface Studio.
Oh, this is a Note. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry I mentioned anything. It does have wireless charging, though. Well, this was, I think, actually a very successful event for Apple. What do you think, Megan?
I think it was. I mean, despite the fact that many of us, dug into the leaks and knew everything, it's still exciting to hear and see the products. I like that they started off with talking about the hurricane, because I think that's something, yes, this is a marketing event, 100%, and people make fun of Apple fans for getting so excited about it. So it's nice that they brought some sense of the larger world of what's important to the event first to start off with. I'm excited about both phones. I think the iPhone 8 seems a little bit like the bridesmaid iPhone, not the thing that everyone's going to want. And even though it's a fantastic phone, it's still like, well, it's not the iPhone 10. So I don't know. I hope that it just sort of encourages most people not to think they always, need to pay $1,000 for a phone every year, because that can be a little bit ridiculous, I think.
And I think that given how accurate the rumor mill has been, even down to the point where the iPhone 10 would be offered later and not available to early November, I suspect the rumors about it being in very, very short supply are also accurate. And so
it could be a long time before you see any of us with a phone.
Which means that the iPhone 8 will probably sell well. Although, would you buy an iPhone 8 or 8 Plus knowing that the 10 was $100 or $200 more and just sitting out there waiting for you? You might not. I'd be interested to see if this holds back sales of the iPhone 8.
I think that, it's a complicated, I think this is probably the most complicated sale that Apple's made, where they're going to give you something that's really a solid upgrade from the last version, but then they're going to show you something that they're not even releasing yet. So, you could really hold up a lot of sales. I think there's a certain number of people that will decide I'm not going to spend that. We've now gotten to a point where I'm not going to spend that much money on a phone. But I don't, I think that the folks that would normally buy an iPhone 8 at $256 at that rate, I could see them deciding to hold off.
It's a couple $100 more, right? The interesting thing is, this reminds me very much of what happened in a late-stage iPod world, where by the time the iPod was mature, you had multiple iPods. Apple will now be selling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different SKUs of the iPhone, not including memory SKUs, just sizes and varieties, down to $349 for the SE, to all the way up to $999 or more for the iPhone 10. This is like the iPod days, where you can pick from a wide range depending on your price. And if you want the features of the iPhone 10 in terms of augmented reality and other things, you might get an 8 or the camera. If you don't want to spend $999 for an iPhone 10,
I don't totally understand keeping the 7 around. I think the one, because
I don't either, actually. Well, it's got the Touch ID, maybe. I don't know.
Well, the 6 has Touch ID as well, I think. And the one thing I will say is the 6S is a little underpowered compared to the 7. So, the screens and everything else feel a little bit more sluggish. And so
that is the big difference. Of course, each of these has a stage faster processor going up to the new A11 Bionic.
Right, the 8 has the Touch ID too, doesn't it? Yeah. The 8 has Touch ID as well.
Oh, you're right. So the only one without Touch ID is the iPhone 10. Yeah.
Right. So
Of course, the watch, I think, is exciting. I think they added enough features, particularly the cellular features, to make the Apple Watch a more compelling product. They didn't say what the edition will cost, but it's the same price as the existing Series 2 watch, which will now be $100 less.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for me. I'm a runner. Like it's nice
GPS,
to know.
You want elevation.
Yeah, I mean, I can run. I have been able to run with it and have the GPS since the Series 2. But yeah, the streaming music is nice, and just being 3 miles away from home, if something happens, I can call.
Answer the phone. Yeah.
I can answer the phone. Yeah, I can take and respond to text messages.
Actually, for safety, it's probably great to have a phone.
I mean, it had the SOS, but. This, if I just fallen down, I'm not going to call 911. I'm going to, call you, Leo.
Right. And I'll run over with my iPhone 10. Let's see, what else? They did announce the new Apple TV 4K supporting both HDR standards, HDR10 and Dolby Vision. That's good news. And even better news for people who've already bought content from the iTunes store. Your HDR movies your HD movies will be upgraded to UHD HDR for free automatically, and you'll be able to buy UHD HDR movies for the same cost as an HD.
And I think that was the most revolutionary part of that announcement. I think that we all knew it was going to go 4K. I think most of us thought that HDR was coming, but the fact that they were able to negotiate not having to rebuy your entire library, and for me, I have hundreds of movies on my Apple TV. Being able to go straight to UHD for that, I think, is really exciting.
And the Steve Jobs Theater looked beautiful. The tribute to Steve Jobs was really, I think, touching and appropriate. I think Apple can say, yeah, we had a very successful launch of the iPhone 10 with a little bit of hiccups. When Craig Federighi tried to use the Face ID, it didn't work the first time. He had to kind of do it again. And Johnny Ive was turned into a chicken. But other than that, I think
they did that on purpose.
Maybe they did that on purpose.
Well, there were some rumors that didn't come true. I mean, we had heard rumors that maybe the new iPhone would come with Apple Music, like a free subscription. I had heard that at some point.
That was one of the wish list items. I think I saw that on The Verge. It would be really nice if it came with free iCloud or free Apple Music. Yeah. We said that when they announced the Trash Can Mac Pro. It'd be really nice if it came with the Pro apps.
Right.
Apple doesn't do that.
Why don't they
Apple
do
doesn't
that?
need to do that.
Because they don't need to.
Apple is, let's not forget it, a profit-making enterprise.
But Google does that with the Pixel. You can upload as many 4K videos, as many.
Google
so why
may
did they
have
do
to
it?
do that.
They have to do it to sell phones.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't have to do anything to sell phones.
With the storage. I'd love to see Apple add another tier. 2 terabytes. For iCloud, I've already.
And I'm thrilled that Apple has finally invented the OLED display and the wireless charging. I think it's really great.
It's really great for them to, like the iPhone, bring that to the public.
Bring it to the
available
masses.
to us.
Yeah, that air power. They also invented air as well.
They invented air. So we're glad you were here for the live stream. I'm thrilled to have you, Megan Maroney. She's going to go off and start work on TNT this afternoon. Alex Lindsay will stick around because Mac Break Weekly is coming up in just a minute or two after we reset. At that point, during Mac Break Weekly, we'll go through a more detailed recap of everything we saw today. Thanks to our sponsor, Rocket Mortgage from Quicken Loans at rocketmortgage.com/twit for making our live streaming events possible. Thanks to our team, John Slanina and Karsten Bonney, who came in early, made you a cup of tea, didn't make me anything. And I'm just kidding. We thank you for being here, and we'll see you. Maybe the next announcement is coming in October. We expect Google, the rumor is October 4th, to have its Pixel announcements. Sonos is going to have a big announcement on October 5th, and that's one I'll be very interested in. Or maybe I've switched those dates around, but early October for Sonos and Google, we think. And I'm imagining we'll be sitting here at this table covering it again. I hope you will be joining us. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time on the TWiT Live Special.